Digimodify. Podcast activate.
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 65 of LostinTranslationmon. I'm May.
And I'm Jay.
This week we watched Duel with the Dava.
Or Chase the Blue Card, Lightning Rapidmon.
For starters, where was the chasing in this episode?
None.
Yeah, but we'll get to that. I just want to point that out. There was no chasing in the episode. It was lie. Also, Duel with the Dava implies one Dava.
Dava could be like sheep, like it's a plural and a singular.
Okay. You win this round.
It could be the
English
12
grammar.
Dava. It's probably Davas.
Yeah, the Dark Dava. Okay, I'm yeah. Anyway, and the second episode that we watched was called Digital Beauty.
Or Beautiful Evolution Taomon, who dances in the moonlight.
For DigiNews this week, first of all, we have our Digimon Adventure dub trailer that was released, and it had this is what was previously seen at the convention, but now we have it online, so we watched it.
Was it just the intro?
It was the one that we watched, the Digimon.
That is so bad.
I find that the music is very busy.
It doesn't matter how busy it is. It's just this repetition of Digimon. Digimon.
It's
Digimon.
It's trying to be like it was in the original, I think.
But, you know what was descriptive of the show? Digimon, digital monsters. Digimon are the champions. Yeah, they said it 1,800 times, but they didn't just say Digimon 1,800 times. At least they said something. Then they digivolved into champions. They digivolved into ultimate. And they did other stuff. This thing... There's a couple lines near the end, but really the whole thing's mind-numbing.
Yeah.
If I was a lapsed fan who didn't watch the Japanese, right, and then I saw this, I wouldn't want to watch it. If I wasn't immediately wowed by the animation, this theme would tell me this is not worth watching.
Though it might be really hard for us to watch the dub though, because it's been announced in American cinemas, and I believe UK, but none from Australia.
I think you've heard of torrents, have you not?
Oh, okay. I guess we could do that. But because I tweeted the Astor and said, hey, you're going to be doing this thing, and they never replied.
That's because they're run by Palace now and they have self-respect.
But, if it's going to be somewhere, it would be at the Astor, right?
Not necessarily. I don't know, The Killing Joke was probably playing at the Astor, but it was just a lot of select cinemas. The Classic played some stuff. That said, The Killing Joke was terrible.
Who did the Madoka movie?
No clue.
That was one in the city, I think. I can't remember. But anyway, I hope that it comes here and we can watch it, because I will go there. I will make Jay. I'll probably have to pay for him, but whatever.
You would. I'm not paying for that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. But hopefully it's good. And speaking of the tri-dub, Joshua Seth has been confirmed to be Tai, even though he was kind of trolling and baiting that he was doing it, because he kept on retweeting things apparently there's going to be a new Digimon movie.
So wait. What you're saying is that the guy who said he would do it is confirmed that he's doing it.
Yeah.
There's no trolling when he says, I'm voicing this character.
No, he hadn't really said that previously. Before...
I've noticed several things, including the voice of Tai.
Before the dub was announced, he was always saying, well, if I'm asked to do the dub, I will do it. But then when there was actually news about the dub, Joshua Seth kept on retweeting things and saying, apparently this is a thing. Should I do it?
Maybe...
Even though obviously he was already in the role.
No, I mean, this one, he retweets an article, the voice actors for the dub will not be paid. He's like, I didn't think anything could kill my enthusiasm for this.
I dub Digimon for free.
Yeah, and I'd be embarrassed for you.
I know, I just do it just to be in Digimon, to be honest.
But that's because you're not a voice actor.
I know. I mean, I could be if I
tried.
tried.
If you were invited to work on a Digimon game, and then the production took, how long do you think of this voice acting gig would last? Weeks?
I've heard they can knock out voice actors in a matter of a week or so, I guess.
Okay, so it's a week. Let's pretend.
Yeah.
If you were told, okay, we're going to work on this Digimon game, work for us for a week, we will not pay you, would you do it?
I think I would prefer to be actually actively known as a character in Digimon rather than a game developer.
You get in the credits, it might say, you're among the 5 lead designers. You were, the first people listed in the credits.
No one pays attention to the credits. People listen to voices, and they recognize voices, and they link names to that voice. No one
I don't.
tends to link developers to a game. I don't know any developers on any games that I've played. I know the company names.
I was about to make an example, but now I can't.
I know indie
What's
developers'
his name?
I know
Oh my
I know
God.
Notch from Mojang, but that's about it.
Oh my god,
But
what's
that's
his
because
name?
he's actually a person outside of that.
Oh,
Phil
God.
Fish.
No, the Japanese one.
Which
It's
one?
really
Oh, that narrows it
embarrassing.
down.
It's really embarrassing because I love it so much. What's his name? Oh, I mean, the Sakurai, obviously, from
Yeah,
Smash Bros.
yeah, obviously,
that's
but
not what
he's
I'm
like
talking
also
about.
a personality. Also, Nintendo is a bigger thing.
Oh my god, the guy who does Metal Gear. This is really embarrassing.
Well done for just proving my point, by
What's
the way.
his name? No, I love him so much. Oh god, No, No,
Mizdow, yep.
no, not Miyazaki. No. Oh, I'm dying. I'm actually dying.
Should we go into the rest of the news?
Can you Google this for me right now? It needs... Because I want to prove my point, but I can't. What's his name? Kojima. Oh, I love Hideo Kojima.
Kojima!
Oh my
Miyazaki! Fucking fantastic.
Oh my... Yeah, Hideo Kojima's really great. There are some creators who get known, but it's not a lot. Because you kind of also have to have a personality.
Wow, Hideo Kojima's actually not... Oh, that was like 2010, though.
That's only 6 years.
He's
Also, he's
looking-
Japanese, so they don't age.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good at the point that photo was taken. He was in his late 40s, looking pretty... He's looking like a 12-year-old.
He looks pretty good in Metal Gear Solid 5, where he appears. I think it might have only been Ground Zeroes, but they did model him.
Yeah,
And they gave his glasses a subtitle.
that's beautiful.
I don't know why he has this weird thing with glasses, and occasionally in the game someone will put on a pair of glasses and it will just say, like, the brand and type they are. It's like the weirdest product placement.
The next bit of DigiNews is that a mystery character was shown, and the mystery character looks like
It looks like.
this. That's the mystery character,
That's just Ken.
and he's called the Mystery Man.
Boo! It's Ken with Ty's hair. You know what it is? Ken and Ty jog-rest in a different universe and became that thing.
But if it is the Kaiser, it's super weird that they've called him a Mystery Man.
Yes, it's weird the way they're treating this, but also the voice actor totally lied to you about whether or not they'd be in the show. Also, the trailers lie to you about the content. Nothing they say now is true, I feel like. I feel like everything they're saying is there to misdirect you.
But that's very strange for, Japanese media, and they're usually like, that they show you what's going to happen, but they don't show you how it's going to happen. So this is very different from the usual approach.
It is very strange.
Which I like, because, it adds some suspense. It's showing, it's sort of leading you to think one way, it's giving you red herrings. No, I'm for this.
I'm waiting for, like, the final boss to be Red Herringmon. It could be.
It's just a Pokemon again.
Ugh.
Again, a Pokemon.
A Popplymon.
A Pokemon. And we also got a Q&A from the magazine, and the Animanga magazine. And it was with the staff. And they didn't really answer many questions. They give us some new information, such as Meiko and Meikumon have been together since, like, Tai and the children have been with their Digimon.
What? Why?
Apparently.
Were they not? But that means she should have been around in the world tour.
But I also think that this gives some wrong information. So it says, Meiko's Digivice are the same model as Taichi and the parties, and she's also the same age. Based on that, I'm sure we can theorise that they've been partners for about the same amount of time.
No, she would have been in the world tour. That's a lie.
Yes, and also, we know that they can't be, they could have been after, because there were the kids in the world tour who got their Digivice after the original children.
Yeah, the D3 was not based on time. It was based on needing to armor evolve.
So I'm not sure how correct this information is, rather than just being people having their own theories.
Also, we extrapolate out from that. That means they're the only 5 D3s that exist.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
5? Yeah, 5.
I can count.
Yeah, 5. Oh yeah, because Ken's not on that. Yep.
Just, count Willis and Ken's place.
Another one that's interesting were the kids that were defeated in Chapter 1, Daisuke, Motomiya, and the party from 02. It says, that's right, that wasn't delusion or something that happened in an imaginary world. Daisuke and party were defeated due to some reason.
Some sort of reason. What's Kakihara?
That's the person's name who gave that information.
I thought Kakihara was the reason, just not translated.
No.
I bet they lost a game of soccer. I kind of want it to be either the most crushing, like, soul-saddening thing ever, or I want it to be something really, really dumb and silly.
Another question was, is Matt's band really that popular? And says,
No.
It seems like they have enough popularity to perform a one-man live performance, as shown on the face of the ticket for KOD in Chapter 1. The previous band, Teenage Wolves, has temporarily disbanded, but there's also a possibility that they will regroup as well. Therefore, a song related to the Teenage Wolves will be featured in Chapter 3.
So, but like, we know that Matt's popular. They sold out like a stadium once.
Yeah.
There was like,
Oh, yeah,
at
and
least
Zero 2,
1,000 people in there.
Yeah, that was huge. And so I won't go through all this information. I was just picking a few bits that are interesting. I will link those in the link dump below, or linked in the description, depending on where you're listening to this. On to NewsLatelymon. First of all, we released a toys similar to Pokemon Go video. Jay
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, Jay hasn't watched it yet. But yeah, so that's something that I recorded. I tried something new. I didn't put in an intro and outro because I recorded on my phone and I uploaded it from my phone. But the phone has actually a better camera than my video camera, my HD video camera. So,
Hey, at least you managed to name it. Have I ever told you about Scott Steiner, the wrestler's YouTube channel?
what?
His videos on his official YouTube channel are like Scott Steiner Fitness Video .mov.
Oh, that's beautiful. I know, I love it.
I'm the genetic freak. I just upload straight from iMovie. I don't know how to change the name.
But it literally gives you that option.
No, not from iMovie. From I don't know, whatever the other thing is that's free. Windows Movie Maker. I don't know.
The YouTube, I guess, but the YouTube app does ask you for a name, though. I guess if you just upload it, I guess.
I did not see that. Because I'm a genetic freak.
Our last bit of Lost News Lately-mon is that DigiNews will now be before Obnoxious Synopsis. So obviously you've already noticed that DigiNews is here and you haven't listened to Obnoxious Synopsis yet because that's now later.
So good news. We've changed that.
Yeah. So this is thanks to Patreon supporter Chakmon who suggested this. And I never really thought about the order, but that makes complete sense. So now we'll go intro, DigiNews, Obnoxious Synopsis, then on to the episodes. And that has a much better flow. Obnoxious Synopsis?
Let's go. I think that's how I ended the Obnoxious Synopsis too.
Probably. You always end it like that.
I do not. Sometimes like, on to the show.
The first episode that we're watching this week is called Duel with the Dava, or Chase the Blue Card, Lightning Rapidmon. What do you think will happen in this episode?
So there's only a few indications I have, which the obvious ones are A, the blue card shows up, B, that means that there's another perfect evolution, which is what this Lightning Rapidmon is, and the indications are, and also because I kind of knew what Rapidmon was already, that Gargomon evolves at some point.
Well, you saw the Digimental Miracles Rapidmon.
Yeah, and then they fight although that Rapidmon was gold.
Yeah. Do you think this one won't be gold?
I think it'll be green because it's in the opening.
Oh, okay. Good point.
I got spoiled, man.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot
also,
the opening did that.
It has the big smiley faces on its missiles. It looks kind of dumb.
Does it? I
Bit.
can't remember.
Anyway, and then they duel one of the Devas. The Dark Devas of Destruction. However, I want to venture a guess a bit further than that, because none of the other episodes that had blue cards in them mention the blue cards in the name. And there's a chase of some description. I don't really know what that means. But what I think it will do in this episode is we'll start investigating what the blue cards actually are. They're not going to just remain a huge mystery the entire time. So people start theorizing what they are. Maybe we'll actually find something out.
Right. And do you think anything will annoy you in this episode?
I always think when they introduce the origin of a new mechanic that it could just be really, really stupid. Like Armor Evolution was really dumb. So, if this is anything like that, that would be annoying.
My favourite part was when Shinlongmon came down and said, yes, it was just all luck. Like, we set them out and it was just luck that you had the D-terminals. So they basically didn't explain why the D-terminals were there. They said, oh yeah, plot, I guess.
I like when he came down and said, okay, we gave you Armor Evolution, even though we could have given you these orbs that make you perfect evolve from the beginning. Just chose not to.
Because plot.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll be a good episode?
I think it probably will be. It's going to be Terriermon focused, so yes.
Do you think it's going to be sassy?
Yes.
What do you think you'll rate the episode?
Like an 8. Well, actually, I forgot. There's another thing that would annoy me really, really bad.
Yeah.
Is if Rapidmon is not Psycho. I would be really frustrated if Rapidmon, like, once you just got old enough, like, it just calmed down because it's just older, or, you know, it's just higher evolution. Like, Terriermon's the guy that the more power you give him, the more you should be worried.
Right. Anything else about that episode?
Nah.
The second episode that we're watching this week is called Digital Beauty, or Beautiful Evolution, Taomon Who Dances in the Moonlight. What do you think will happen this episode?
It's weird that its name is Taomon, and we have a Tailmon. But anyway, yeah, I think... Hold on. I had an idea about this. I'm going to look at my notes here, actually. Okay, so, I mean, obviously Renamon evolves. That one's really obvious.
Yep.
But it's really hard to get a lot out of this, except that, obviously, it focuses on the idea of beauty, which is interesting, because obviously that's never been particularly Renamon's arc. What I identified is that it's been, the place that would come into effect in the story as it stands is Ruki's mom, who is a model. And was it just in the English when the mom was like, hey, you should model with me?
In the original, she straight up said, hey, we have a photo shoot coming up.
Okay, so yeah, Rika does also do modeling, or Ruki does modeling stuff as well. So I could see that being a part of the episode.
It's not really said if Ruki does or her mother just
She said we.
Yeah.
So I could see it. And as a weird bonding thing, because I don't know, his mom's not very good at it. Yeah. I could see it being something to do with that. Also, I saw what Talmon looks like. It has a giant paintbrush.
Oh yeah, because I posted the logo for this week's
stupid.
episode.
It's real bad.
You've also seen the figure, because I have a figure of Cubimon evolving into Talmon.
What? No, you don't.
Yes, I do. It's one of my evolving figures.
Oh, no, you don't. I've never seen that.
I'll show you after.
I'm okay with you not, though.
I'll show you anyway.
Really...
Do you think anything will annoy you in this episode?
I don't really like... I don't really like Ruki's mom, and I know you're not even really meant to.
So you don't say she's got it going on?
Ruki's mom has got it going on. She would, though. She's a model.
Yeah.
But, no, seriously. I feel like it's just going to be pretty awkward a lot of the time, and if I don't find the mom annoying, I'm going to find Ruki's rejection of her goodwill annoying.
Do you think Talmon's going to have it going on? Talmon has got it going on.
It's going to have a giant paintbrush. I don't know about you, but that's pretty much the hottest thing that anyone can have. It's a huge paintbrush.
Do you think it'll be a good episode?
I don't really, honestly. I don't think it will be.
What rating do you think you'll give it?
I guess a 6, which is which is low for this show.
Yeah, that is pretty low. That's like it's still
it's above average for O2,
it's still
but it's
a 0
bad
to
for this
10.
show.
Anything else you want to say about this episode, or just onto the show?
Let's go.
Onto the show.
Let's go.
Duel with the Dava, or Chase a Blue Card Lightning Rapidmon, starts with a random kid opening a booster pack, and then an adult walks past him and bumps into him, and a card is dropped into his card pile. But then picks up his card, and he says, where did this one come from?
He also says, I've never seen this one before, and then it hovers on it. And it's weird, because it's all in Japanese, and there's a picture that's just pretty innocuous, at which point I have to think, who is this scene for? The only way that you could have any kind of reaction to what this kid is saying, because otherwise he seems just kind of stupid, is to know literally what every card in that game looks like.
Unless he hasn't actually opened a booster pack and he's just looking at his card collection, but I was pretty sure that he opened a booster pack.
Yeah, I got the sense of that as well. Or he possibly just traded a bunch of cards.
Or he just got some new cards. So maybe he bought some cards from a store, but for some reason I thought he opened a booster pack.
However, because of the reactions of every other person who sees it, that card no one's ever heard of before either.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the text on it's any weird, because I didn't get a translation of it.
I think it's a real card in real life, though.
Then why is they all having this reaction to it? Everyone's like, I've never seen this card before, so I don't care.
In the original, they say, oh, that's a rare card.
Well, they do say that.
Yeah.
Which brings me to, card games back in the day must have been so wild.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, for people who are really into card games, you know every card that's in a new set.
Yeah.
But imagine it being in a place where someone brings a card up to you and you're like, what is that?
Yeah.
I've never, not only have I never heard of it before, but until today, I did not think this thing existed. I thought I had an encyclopedic knowledge of this game, and someone has sat down and played a card that I couldn't have possibly known about.
Yeah.
Because they were just rare and you didn't know.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Imagine being in a world where you don't know what Digimon is, and you can go about your day having a good time, not being bothered by Digi stuff. I would be so happy.
In the dub, the kid says that he wants to get rid of it because it means he has 8 cards and not 7, because he wants to have lucky 7 cards. And I'm not sure how much sense this line makes to me.
No, I was pretty sure he said, wait, do you mean, in the dub?
In the dub, it makes no sense, because he's like, oh no, I only wanted 7 cards.
Yeah, the 7 and 8 lucky number business, I just didn't follow
It sounds like, does that mean he only wants to own 7 cards from Digimon?
I don't know.
He doesn't have a deck, he just has 7 cards?
Yeah, I guess.
I know, it was weird.
Yeah, lucky 7, alright.
In the dub, they give him the name Jeremy, because they, for some reason, make him one of the characters' friends. But in the original, he's not actually their friend, he's just a kid.
He's just a random.
Yeah, he's just a random, and that's why they have to look for him later on in the episode, because they don't know who he is.
And it's that really random montage that is 5 seconds
It's
long.
really cute, because Takato's happy. So Kenta trades it from the kid, and then he gives it to Jen. Jen swipes it and finds out that there's a blue card. In the dub, they're discussing a bit before, and they've discussed, is it fake? And then they say how it's stupid and it's a bad card, and that's why he gives it to Henry. Because for some reason, Kenta and Kazu always give bad cards to their friends.
What's with that? Like, okay, I mean...
It's clearly him being generous in the original, because he's like, this is a rare card. Here you go. I don't really need it.
I never really felt that way. I always felt like it was like, none of us actually know what this is, so we don't care.
Yeah, but it's still a nice action rather than, this is a stupid and useless card and it's dumb,
Like,
here you can have it.
I feel like rare card wasn't a statement of fact. It was a theory. Like, I've never heard of this. It must be rare.
Yeah.
Because there are rare cards, but why are they so impressed by them? If you open a booster pack, you'll get one.
When Jen swipes the card, it becomes a blue card, and he's like, oh, a blue card.
It doesn't make any sense. Why was it shaped like a different card in the first place? When Takada found his, it was just kind of lying on the ground in front of him. Why did this one get disguised?
Well, originally when they first got their first blue cards, they were disguised as another card.
Takada's wasn't.
Also,
It just fell out of a box.
Also, that weird man in the yellow coat who might be Hiyamaki, we're not quite sure, snuck it in, so maybe he put some magic on it.
Also, spoiler, in the next episode there is a blue card, and it also doesn't show up in a weird circumstance. It just is there.
Yeah.
So, Jens is the only one, at least in this new set of evolutions, that got to him by a strange, like, machination.
Yeah, and he also has it the whole time, basically, through the episode.
It's completely nonsensical why his story is so different. And in effect, it's not different at all. But, there is a chase, but it's reverse. They're chasing down, like, the kid for information.
Yeah, but it's not chase the blue card.
No.
It's chase the blue card, information
Chase
about the blue
might
card.
be a mistranslation. Chase might mean something different, if that specific word.
We cut to Jen's house, and Susie is playing with hats with her mum, and her dad comes home, and she runs up to him, and she says, look, Dad, I'm a princess with a hat. And then he agrees with her. In the dub, she's a lot less articulate, and she runs up to him and says, am I pretty? And then the dad says, yes, pretty as a princess.
I don't understand. Why would you be a princess with a hat? I mean, like, you can
I know, I think it's cute.
You can have a tiara or something, but a hat doesn't make you a princess. I couldn't just go out and grab one of your hats and be a princess.
I know, I think it's just two statements. Like, she's a princess, and she's wearing a hat.
I really thought the hat was a qualifying factor.
No, I think she's just saying... Because, okay, when I was little, I used to run around with fairy wings and gumboots, and they were Thomas the Tank Engine gumboots.
That doesn't sound like you at all.
Are you sure?
Pink fairy wings? That's not you.
Oh, they weren't pink. They were purple.
Please? Oh, close enough. That sounds like more like
Yeah. No, but there was... No, I was running around, and I was a fairy with wellies on.
And you're like, look, Dad, I'm a princess with gloves.
No, with wellies.
I'm a princess, and I'm looking at a bee. Oh God, a bee!
Jen's also home, and he asks his dad for a favour. Jen's dad is... And then they're in the computer room, and Jen's dad is about to ask him if he's too old for something, and that's presumably Terriermon,
Yeah,
as
because
in
he's like
the toy. Yeah.
like a stuffed animal.
In the dub, when this pause, sort of slightly awkward moment, is just him brushing off Henry's questions about what this device is and where he got it from.
I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about the question of aren't you too old for this? Then I'm scanning around this room a little bit.
Stop looking at my
Just
plush
looking
toys.
around. You're what, twice as old as him? Twice as old?
And then they scan the blue card in the reader, and...
Why does he have that card reader?
Well, that's what he didn't want to answer. It's clearly something from his project, when he was working on the Digimon project.
But they didn't have cards in that project.
They might have.
But they didn't. This card game was clearly developed afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he actually asked that much about it in the original, but he asked more about it in the dub.
We get more information in the original, though, which is weird, considering.
Then the children are searching for the one that traded him the card, because they don't know who he is, because he's not one of their friends. And Takado is so excited, and I really enjoy the scenes where they're on the train, and we have Jen, who's just kind of there, he's doing his job. Takado's just excited to be there. He's like, yeah, we're a team, and we're patrolling. This is great, we're working together.
He starts pulling out a little flag.
Yeah. And Ruki's just sitting there being bored. And I think that's just... It's just really nice to see the three characters working together, but they all have their own sort of opinions. Like, Ruki's just kind of like, I guess I have to be here. And she's also like... I know, but she also wants to. As I said, friendship tsundere.
No, that's Impmon.
They're both friendship tsunderes.
Fair enough.
And so in the dub, they're looking for who gave the card to Jeremy, so they're looking more for information, but it's still weird that they just sort of... The end result's still the same because the animation's the same. And instead of that, they're not looking for Jeremy, they're looking for Machen, but they find Jeremy anyway.
As the last resort. So it makes way less sense.
It makes no sense in the dub that they could have just said he's just a random kid that we ran into, because that happens. When you're playing a card game or, Digimon or something, you might meet someone and you don't know who they are. You might not even know their name.
No. That's stranger danger. We can't have the kids just interacting with random kids they've never met before. Everyone they talk to has to have a name and then say something witty, mostly about their parents not being able to cook. So they do find him, and they ask, who gave it to you? And he says, well, I don't know, but I only got it after some guy bumped into me. Oh, a guy bumped into you. What was he like? Well, I have no idea, but I do remember something really important. And they're like, what is it? And he goes, well, he was dressed in yellow.
Yeah, thanks, kid.
So at the end of the day, you got no information.
Yeah.
I feel like it's framed like that's really significant. Like, it cuts to the guy's apartment and you see the yellow jacket or whatever. Yep. But even if he were to walk out right now, if he would have walked right past them at that exact moment, assuming Jeremy didn't know what his face looked like, just the dude in yellow, even after having just been told that, they would have no reason to look at him and be like, that's him. You got nothing. You got so nothing. Ruki's partially dressed in yellow.
But what I kind of like is the kid doesn't really say much until Ruki threatens him. And then he says, okay, the man was wearing yellow. And I like that, like, Ruki was previously saying, this is stupid, and Takada was being excited, and Ruki was just, like, looking like she was there and it was a chore and she didn't want to be there. But she sort of just emerged and, like, she sat up and yells at him, and then she gets information, so she clearly cares, and it's really sweet.
Sorry, emerged is the funniest verb you could have used. Like, she fuses out of the ground. Just, tell us what we want to know or I'll break your knees. I believe we cut to Jen's dad on the roof doing really grunty Tai Chi, and he's imagining pixel monsters, which is a lot like Oikawa's flashbacks in O2.
Yeah, it did remind me a bit of when Oikawa was saying, I used to play this game. You can stop me, I would let you.
Yeah. Oh, what's this? Wait, why are they going in a train? I can't remember.
No, that was when they were getting Jeremy.
There's a really funny line that Gilmon and Terriermon have an exchange. Gilmon says, you're really lucky, Terriermon, saying that because he can go on a train. Terriermon goes, I know. He's such an asshole. I love that stupid rabbit.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure in the dub he says something along the lines of, like, I wouldn't call it luck. Because sassy rabbit, I guess.
Oh, he's so sass. So good.
When Jen is doing these Tai Chi moves, he gets memories of working on Digimon when he was young. In the dub, he's talking during this time, and he says how simple life was back then, and how he wasn't entirely sure why the project was shut down when they had come so far. He's also upset that he's lying to his son about it. And we find out later on in the original version that their project was shut down because they couldn't find a sponsor, and they didn't have any funding. So they straight up give a reason of why the funding was cut, and he knows very well why it was cut. And even in the dub, they said something about a sponsor. It's not as in-depth, but they still have a reason. So it just seems that this bit sounds kind of weird. And also, I liked that it was more mysterious in the original. Because
when it was silent.
There's silence. With like, what is he doing? What's happening? And then we find out at the end of the episode, that's what's happening.
It's actually really weird as well, because something also key difference here. First of all, between we ran out of money basically, and we got shut down. I don't know why. Oh no! And the Japanese one where he says everything we did was open source. Yeah. So when we shut it down, other people picked it up, and that's why it got really popular. And I think I'm really proud that I helped build this. Yeah. Because I think it's really interesting. In English, it was, we got shut down, then someone stole all our ideas and made us, and they're millionaires, and I didn't get no credit.
Yeah, and they said they didn't get credit.
So he sounds like really wronged, rather than like humbly proud about it.
Yeah, and it is, back to this point, it is weird that they give us this part twice in the dub. They give it at the start, this part in the episode, and then they give it again at the end of the episode with a very similar explanation.
It's like they, it's almost like the scriptwriter was watching through and doing the translation, and then, because it's the English one, he goes, okay, this is pretty quiet here, I'm probably going to put in some lines. Well, we know the explanation is this, so I'll just put it through here, because he just remembers really vaguely, and then he gets to the end, he goes, it's kind of the same. Oh well, just translate it through. But remove all that stuff where he seems like a good person, and instead make him just bitter and old.
Yeah. Anyway, so when the kids are walking around, Itmon shows up, and Terriermon in the dub really, really wants to fight. He's sort of like, kind of not really caring so much in the original, but in the dub he's like, Can I fight him? Henry, can I fight him? Please? Can I?
I would want to fight Imon.
Yeah.
But like in both, Imon's challenging him, and Terriermon, in more or less, is like, hey Jan, you mind just kind of She's gonna kick this guy's ass again.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's asking it all is really interesting.
Because he values his partner's, like, permission, and that's really sweet.
So they talk briefly, and Impmon pulls out A, helicopter head, and B, wing-eared weenie.
What?
Those are the two insults he throws at Terriermon.
Oh, really? Wow, that's
Helicopter
beautiful.
head and wing-eared weenie.
No pineapple head, though.
No pineapple head. That really should be for Rookie, but isn't.
It isn't. It's for Growlmon for some reason.
I guess he's got fuzz on his head? A bit?
Gilmon doesn't. I think he
That's
called
true.
Gilmon first.
That's fair. He's got spikes around the side of his... Oh, I don't know, it's stupid.
Rookie's pineapple head, if anything.
Yeah, and her Digimon's yellow.
I know.
Ah. So, what's it called? Jen's dad shows up because he'd turned back on his way to work, I think, because he forgot his cell phone.
Yeah.
And he walks back through the park, and there's Jen with Terriermon, who is moving, and Impmon's there, throwing fireballs at him. And Jen's dad sees, the Digimon are alive, entirely by accident, and he's like, I always knew it. Impmon throws some fireballs at him, they run Impmon off, and then Jen's dad just says the funniest thing, which is like, we need to talk. And they all go, and just run.
And you know what, but you know what Henry says, right?
I don't remember.
You can stop me, I won't let you!
They just all like immediately book it.
Yeah,
even though
they run away.
He's probably being... He doesn't seem angry at them. He's like, we need to talk.
Yeah, he's just like...
They're like, whoa!
He's like, I'm going to give you some information, but also there are Digimon here?
I always knew it. We cut to Hypnos.
Yep.
And they're saying that there are two entities coming through the Shagai hole, which I thought was closed.
The Shagai is just a hole that's that's crossing the two worlds, and that Digimon can come in through.
I thought the Shagai was something that they had invented and was closed after the first David was killed. Is it still there?
I think it's still open.
Like
I think they just left it open, and
Just
that's
hovering above Tokyo.
And that's why Yamaki had the temper tantrum.
Like, if you were to look up currently while you're walking around, would you just see it?
I don't think it's a visible hole. I think it's just like a portal, but I don't think you can see it.
Ah, it's one of those invisible
Yeah.
holes.
You know, the plot ones.
Ah,
The ones that are just there for plot.
yeah.
They can just be convenient.
There's so many.
They're so convenient. Anyway, so they say that they're ready to launch Yugoth again if need be.
So, yeah, even though it's really, really ineffective,
Well, it blew up the that thing that was trying to take Gilmon.
I guess, but that was the one time and it hadn't even realized yet. So the kids decide, okay, we're going to go to that place that, Jeremy found the blue card, and we're going to
Akihabara,
ask around. Which they can't pronounce at all.
They cannot
in the English.
pronounce in the
They're
English
like, it's like,
Akibra.
Akibra.
Akibra is one of them.
Akibra.
No, it's
Abracadabra.
No, to be fair, I don't think I can pronounce it properly. I can't. It's
Akihabara.
Akihabara, yeah.
Oh, Akihabara.
AKB. Just call it AKB.
Is that what they call it? Is that
Yeah,
what the cool kids call it?
it's what the otakus call it.
That's awesome.
I learned that from Lucky Star.
Oh, nice. So, there's something that really strikes me here. They're at this, trading spot. There's all the kids trading and everything, and they're just standing around, and they had to ask Jeremy where this was. Rookie is the Digimon queen. How does she not know where the local trading stuff is?
I think there are different ones, and Jeremy was leading them towards the particular one that
It doesn't
he went
matter.
to.
She's the Digimon queen. She should have a broad knowledge of, the Digimon trading stuff going on.
I still think it's because Jeremy's showing them the exact location where the man was.
Yeah, but because that's where he was when he was trading cards, and that's where these people are. They're trading now, a day later. That means this is a well-known spot. This isn't his spot where he got one particular trade. This is where Digimon trading happens.
Okay, that's
And obviously,
fair.
also, because he opened a booster packs where you can buy cards, she should know this place.
Yeah, good point. But also plot convenience.
If you ask me where the, Magic game shops are in Melbourne, I can tell you.
Yeah, but not with one with the man in yellow.
No, that's true. But, when... They shouldn't have to ask him where to go, right? And they shouldn't have to stand there awkwardly. She should be able to move around, ask questions. She's famous. People know her. They should be able to oh yeah, Digimon Queen, sure, Man in Yellow, I remember that guy.
They're not being recognised in the streets anymore, so it's almost like that was just a plot convenient thing.
Yeah, no, it's plot inconvenient.
Yeah.
They were like, wait a minute, we can't have one of our characters be recognisable at all times.
Yeah.
Like how no one looks at God, no one looks at Ducato anymore and is like, you have a Digimon! We just forgot about that.
Yeah.
Ever since they went to camp and everyone kind of got tired
It's
of
not
them.
relevant, who cares? Digimon is so yesterday now.
These real, literal monsters are no longer news.
Yeah. So the two Digimon show up, and it's a sheep and a bull.
Yay.
Because
I wrote down as
Zodiac.
a ram, but I guess it's either one in the Zodiac, right?
It's a shorp, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And it's so fat. I love it. I love Pachiromon so much.
I don't have a screenshot of the week, I just realised.
I asked you.
I know you did.
And you were like, stop asking me questions about Digimon. I'll get it to you.
And I was watching them, and I was like, I can't think. Besides the hammer that you picked, I couldn't see anything that I thought was that interesting.
Okay, you can pick the hammer, and I'll pick another one then.
No,
I have another one. It's fine.
Oh, you do? Then use your backup.
I have another one.
Then take the backup, please.
So you can have hammer. You can have hammer bun. All right.
Woohoo!
Pajiromon and Vajiromon start eating electronic stuff, and it's because they need to stabilize.
It's the stupidest thing ever. You do not get data by eating a CD.
They may as well.
Because you have to scan them
cool.
with specific technology. Also, he's eating like a mouse.
Yeah, he's hungry.
A mouse wouldn't have any data in it.
They're mainly eating CDs.
No, they're not just eating CDs. I think the sheep begins to inhale them. Like, just breathing, and all these CDs are flying into their mouth, shrinking in size on the way.
Now, what is different from usual digital fields and when Digimon realizes there are humans in this, there are other people. Also, and one of them says in the dub, "I'm never eating lamb chops again!"
Also, in this digital field, they chose where it was.
Yeah, so they go from here to here, and then it appears, and that's a pretty cool mechanic. They basically choose where they want the digital field to be so they know where they can roam to stabilize.
But if they could just be around there without the field, why couldn't they just, like, pick a way broader area?
I think it still has to be limited.
Maybe. And also, like, when they were doing that running past each other thing and, like, picking the sides, I really thought they were about to, like, have a joust.
Yeah.
Because they're both four-legged, and they looked like they were about to challenge each other, and then they just started eating things. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I thought this was the duel.
It was still pretty cool, though. Pajiromon goes, meh.
And, like, it's obviously a big, like, sonic wave or something.
It puts people to sleep.
But I think it looks like it's knocking them out.
Yeah.
But it first of all, only the kids have the state of the presence of mind to cover their ears, which was enough to not make them not knocked out.
Yep.
No one else thought of that.
Yeah, because who's smarter than a bunch of 10-year-olds, right?
Exactly. And they're oh god, what was just the sound is so nothing. When you think of a sonic screech, you think of like a bat or like anything, not just meh. It's not even a good sheep noise. There's no like ululation of the sheep noise, like meh, like you'd expect.
Yeah.
I don't know. The sheep is terrible. That's really.
Please do not bad talk my short.
It's a bad short.
It's not a bad short.
It's a fat short. Also, did you notice that their Digivices scanned both of them immediately?
Yes, it's very convenient, isn't it?
Why were they ever delayed?
Because it was convenient for the plot.
Like, in the first episode, fine, there was something to it. The worst was when they stare at the Digivice for 3 seconds and it's just blank.
And in the dub, Dakota was like, come on. Oh, there it goes.
Yay, it works
like, awkward.
now.
I feel like they were trying to make it consistent and then realised that they were just making it awkward by having the pause, so they got rid of the pause.
It's still...
Like, I think they feel like they wanted to keep it for the first few episodes and they realised that they were doing nothing with it and they weren't doing it as well as in the first episode. The first Dava episode, I mean. The Davas then ask Renamon and Terriermon their names, and in the original, they say, I'm Renamon, I'm Terriermon, it's fine. In the dub, they just straight up refuse to give their names for some reason. Then the Dava says that they're going to load their data so they can become stronger and evolve. Then Terriermon evolves, but they still are able to pin Gargomon down.
It's really sad. Also, it's never a good sign when there's an evolution and they don't change the music at all.
Yep.
You just know it's going to end badly.
Or they do have the music, and then they do keep the music in this scene, but it stops when Pajiromon starts stepping on Gargomon.
Oh, it's really sad.
Yeah.
And Jen starts using cards over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And like he keeps getting his slash animation, and you get to see his weird Sentai stuff.
Yeah.
Over
and in the
and
dub,
over.
it's awkward because he goes the weird ha 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 noise.
Yeah, cut that out. It would be way faster and more efficient if you didn't do it that way. And like the question is, because this obviously shows that you can't just instantly win by using cards. That's fine. But I never understood why you don't use cards right at the beginning.
I think they try to win without the cards.
The only answer that you would have to you do have to infer it for yourself is, I believe in the next episode they use a bunch of cards as well, and the Digimon get exhausted really quickly.
Yep.
However, I have to interpret that to mean that the cards are doing that, not that they're just losing the fight naturally.
I thought it was just because they were losing the fight, but maybe it's because of the cards. Maybe
yeah, that's the thing.
You can have faith in the plot. There's a bit of a creepy line that happens in the dub, besides ha ha ha. When Terriermon evolves to Gargomon, Renamon is still Renamon, and Vigiromon asks if she's going to evolve, and he's generally creepy about her being attractive, and
He
Renamon
loves her.
Yeah, and Renamon calls him a pig.
He's not a pig though, he's a bull.
I know, but she calls him a pig, and it's fine. Then, when Gargomon is under attack, Renamon comes in to save him, and then...
Diamond Storm!
Can't move anything.
Don't do it! It's my job.
It's never too late to change your career.
Oh, they're friends! Isn't it nice?
No, it is cute, but that's only in the dub, obviously.
Yeah. So Gagomon's getting stomped real bad.
Yeah.
And then eventually Jen looks at his hand of cards and says, "None of these will work! Wait a minute!" No, sorry. No, he doesn't even say wait a minute. Takata goes, "Hey, what about that blue one?" And
No. Before that, he turns him to stone.
I was going to say that, but it wasn't
Yeah.
really important.
And Takata keeps on handing him cards and they don't do much. In the dub, and this is something I really enjoyed, Henry's voice changes throughout each card slash. They do differentiate it a little bit between each one. Is that he becomes gradually more nervous? Is it card slash? And which I enjoy because it's a lot better than just being, this is a static thing that always stays the same with the exact same emotion. He's getting nervous during this part, and he's losing faith in himself, and he's like, Gargomon's going to be hurt.
Shouldn't he be saying Digimodify? Or do you mean the original?
I'm saying in the dub.
I forgot.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
So in the dub, his voice keeps on changing. He becomes more nervous, and I mean, maybe it's the same in the original, but I couldn't hear his voice change in the original. Also, another thing is Vigiromon continues to say how beautiful and pretty and feisty Renamon is in the dub, and it's just...
Feisty's such a weird word nowadays, because it's meant to be nice. It's not, though.
Yeah, it's never used nicely. Takata then suggests the blue card because apparently Jen wouldn't think about it.
It's been sitting in his hand the whole time, and I just have to feel like... I'm trying to think of an example. I guess you got a hand of poker cards and you're just staring at the Joker, like,
Yeah.
That won't do anything. And someone goes, "No, in this game, that's wild. Oh, that's awesome." So he slashes it,
Yep, and nothing happens.
and he's like, "Oh, no." Then Kulimon's like, "I'm here now! Woo!"
And then glows into the sky.
And Takata, for the first time, kind of notices it, because it wasn't a giant red sky laser before, and now it is.
Yep.
And Matrix Evolution.
Yeah, and then Gargomon becomes Rapidmon.
Gargomon's evolution to Rapidmon is kind of crap.
Yep.
The actual Rapidmon coming together bit is cool. I like that. It
Yep.
it pieces them together like a robot.
Yep.
But my problem with it is that Gargomon is on screen and then just spirals off screen.
Yeah.
And then from a different direction they build Rapidmon.
Yeah.
I like the transformation. I want them to build on top of what's already there. And what this tells me is that they couldn't figure out how to turn this Digimon into that one. And that's sad.
Yeah, they tried.
They
just
didn't.
strap metal to it.
They didn't try!
Just pile metal on. It's fine.
But you have to begin by stretching him. That's the problem, I think.
We also get more bad CGI.
It's old. It's not bad. It's fine for its time. It's better than a reboot.
Rapidmon, by the way, is rapid. He's very fast.
I love that, because I predicted the one of my problems with this might be that he becomes serious when he gets older.
Yeah.
He's still an asshole.
No, well, of course he's
He's just Sonic.
crazy.
You're too slow.
Yeah.
You gotta go fast. In English, he will not shut up. And you know what? It's fine.
I love it.
Also, he plays soccer now. He shoots! He scores!
Yeah, I love the fact that Terriermon's just hyper and now he's fast and he's like, I'm fast and I have guns. So Terriermon's just having a field day.
He's like, "Look at me! I got rockets!"
Pajiromon then says that she will use his partner as a shield, but Rapidmon's too fast and destroys them, but the Vigiromon, which is the one that's being creepy to Renamon, stays behind and he starts following Renamon around.
It's a genius move using the partners, especially if that's your political stance, that the partners are like dangerous.
That they're the problem.
The fact that they got to this so late is weird, right? Because
I think that's because these are the most sentient of the Davis we've had so far. We've had Tiger, didn't talk. Snake, didn't talk. Chicken, spoke through an
owl.
A creepy evangelist owl. The Davas!
I don't mean late in the Divas. I mean late...
Oh, in Digimon.
I mean, no, late in this fight.
Oh.
They should have done that from the beginning.
Yeah, when they were still child
It sounded
level,
like it was a desperation move,
Yeah.
even though it should, from their perspective, be the most obvious move to go to it at the beginning.
Though it is also interesting to note that these are the first sentient Deva, sort of.
I
The
mean,
ones that communicated that seemed more than just a monster, because the snake was just a snake.
The
it was just a
cat
big
looked
snake.
intelligent.
Yeah, but didn't say anything.
It didn't say anything, but it looked
I
intelligent.
feel like it might have been the dub because it's the dub, but I feel like the Mihiromon didn't say anything in the,
It's a
in the
lot
original.
of something Iramon.
Yeah.
Are they all like that so far?
Okay, so we have
We've got-
Mihiromon, Sindiramon, Sinduramon, Pajiramon, Vajiramon.
They all sound really similar.
Yeah, which is kind of annoying.
It makes, like, these two here, especially, I think there's, like, one letter. Is it just the first letter of the name changed?
Yep, I think so.
It's like Pajira. No,
Yeah.
it's Pajira and, like, Hajira. Oh, it's weird.
Vajira, yeah.
I couldn't tell the difference, basically, between their names.
It's Pajamamon and Vegetamon.
Yeah, Vegetamon! He always loses to make Goku look strong!
After the fight, Jen's father tells Jen that he used to work on the Digimon project with his friends in university, and they said that the rule was survival of the strongest. Then they said that they had to cancel the project because they couldn't find a sponsor. In the dub, it's because the sponsors cut their funding.
Those are very different circumstances.
Yeah. And then he says that what you play with today is based off the Digimon that we created.
It must be really suck to, like, look around at a billion-dollar franchise and be like, I invented this, and I have nothing to show for it.
Yeah, basically. But it was open source, and he says that in the original. It was completely open source, so anyone could start working on it.
Which is why he doesn't sound quite as sad in that one. But in English, he sounds
Yeah,
really
he
sad.
he doesn't he sounds annoyed in English. He says, we didn't get credit for it. Like, I mean, I would be upset. If I invented Digimon, I'd be like, hey buddy, I invented this.
And they're like, no, you didn't. And you're like, but we have the money, so we invented it.
I made this?
I
made this. Then he says that the blue card had Shibumi's code in it.
I don't know what that is.
It'll happen in the plot, hopefully.
Also, I don't remember if we mentioned it, but when he does scan the blue card, he's the worst liar ever. He's a terrible liar. It's nothing.
I feel like he's more believable in the original.
No, and because he has the same moment of like,
Yeah.
there's definitely nothing on this, I promise. Even though I went, oh.
But in the dub, it's like, it's always more obvious that someone's lying or trying to hide something. It's like, well, we're not going to look at that anymore, ha 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 ha.
However, you're a programmer, right?
Probably.
Yeah, you program
I try.
occasionally. You've
try.
programmed in Teams.
I've made
even.
an attempt, yes.
So you've seen people's code, right?
Yeah.
What is, generally, first of all, the most obvious thing about someone's code that you identified as theirs? Is it...
When they write their name in the comments.
So yeah, so first of all, it's the comments, right?
Yeah.
Second of all, do you think that right now, or in the future, you could look at someone's style of code and think,
Oh, I thought it was just his name that was in the code.
no way.
Because that's why his name showed up his name
That's a
showed up on
flashback.
screen. Yeah, but his name showed up.
No, I don't think so.
The word Shibumi showed up on the screen.
No.
At the end of the episode when he says Shibumi
No.
showed up.
No.
I just thought his name just showed up in it.
I'm certain he's talking about like the style of code, like he recognizes
Or maybe
it.
it's not the style of code, it's just a portion of code that he wrote for the game that they were developing.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say
Or the project.
is if you look at the stuff that appeared on screen, it was just in binary.
Yeah.
You're not going to recognize a block of binary.
Just believe the plot, okay?
There's no chance you'd recognize a block of binary.
Just believe the plot, alright? I know it's very plot convenient, but it's just...
It's insane.
Then Vajiramon finds Renamon and Ruki and points at Renamon, and then signals that he wants to talk to her. Renamon says that there's things that only a Digimon can understand, and then she leaves with him. At the end of the episode in the English version, Davis just said, well, I guess this will be hard for Rika to trust somebody. I'm like, did you previously just watch the past, 5 episodes, buddy?
It gets worse at the end of the next one.
Yeah.
However, when Renamon says there's things only a Digimon can understand, when you see the conversation, it is not only stuff that humans can understand, but it is all the same stuff that we've been talked about in the other episodes by
Yeah.
every other Deva. Oh my god.
What do you think of this episode as someone who is new to Digimon?
I don't think it was that good. I enjoyed Rapidmon being mean a little bit to Digimon he's punching, but I don't feel like a lot happened. I don't feel like the plot of chasing a random card that became a blue card for no reason, it was particularly compelling. And at the end of the day, the information that you have, that this storyline gave you over just the blue card appearing at random, because they're known to do that, is there is a man in yellow who might be able to distribute them accidentally.
I liked the bit of backstory about Jen's dad, though.
It's okay.
That was, I think, the best part of the episode.
I feel like that was always implied, though. We always knew he was involved in
I know,
the...
but now we get a bit more information. We know that someone called Shibumi is in the mix. We don't know who Shibumi is. But just that, for some reason, his code is on the blue card, and it was presumably someone that Jen's dad used to work with.
His name was Genai Shibumi. Why was Genai younger in 02? I still don't get it.
Well, we're not talking about Adventure anymore. We're safe from that now.
I know. I'm so glad.
Until Try.
No. I wonder if Genai will show up and try.
He already has.
Did he?
Yeah, in the first one, Maki said that they got information from Genai.
No, but he didn't show up. They mentioned
They
it.
had his silhouette.
Was he young or old?
He was young for some reason.
God damn it!
Again. How would you rate this episode?
It's like a 6, maybe?
I feel like I gave it a 6.5. It wasn't terrible. I didn't mind watching it again.
Yeah, like it wasn't awful. It just wasn't great. It was like it was passable, I guess.
It was an episode.
It definitely existed. Someone wrote it.
How did it compare to what you thought in Obnoxious Synopsis?
I thought they would focus on the blue card, considering the episode title, and explore what the blue cards actually are. And by and large, we got none of that.
No, we kind of know what they are. Well,
No, we added...
we got someone called Shibumi's code on it.
That's the only information we got. However, we got like a more of a mystery, which is this yellow jacket dude. The only answer to which I can say is like, maybe that's Shibumi. That's the best I've got here. But even if that's Shibumi, the likelihood that he would have put a blue card into the hand of a random child knowing it would get to Jen is mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
As far as what would annoy me, I said I think that the blue cards might be silly in their backstory, which if any of what I just said is true, is then correct. Although I said the episode would be good, and that'd be an 8, and I was wrong.
Yeah.
It wasn't nearly that good.
What was the biggest difference that you noticed?
I think it was probably Jen's dad's perspective on the whole thing, where on one hand he's like, yeah, we got shut down, but, you know, what happens if we run out of money? And the other one's like, someone shut us down, and I lost millions of dollars.
Yeah. I also found that Digimon being creepy in this episode was strange. When he only starts being creepy in the next episode.
Yeah, well, I guess the difference is that in one, he's much more interested in Randomon because she's pretty, and in the original, he's really interested in her because he's like a religious fanatic.
Yeah, and it's beauty, but it's also like a different type of beauty. It's not just...
It's grace.
It's grace. It's, you know...
Miss United States.
Digital beauty, or beautiful evolution, Talmon, who dances in the moonlight, starts with Ruki and her mother in a modelling studio. And I guess this is this photo shoot that Ruki and her mother mentioned a few episodes ago, so I'm really... I like this sort of like continuity that they actually pay attention to things that they say in previous episodes.
I feel like that was a reference to something that would be happening really soon, though, and this is like 5 episodes later. So either not very much time passed at all.
I don't think... Not a lot of time has passed.
Also, there's something weirdly creepy about it in Japanese, where she's like, I owe my whole career to this man. Because it's really that like, producer-son, like, mentality.
Yeah.
They get from models and, idols and stuff
Yeah.
in Japan. Which, as far as I'm aware, has a really terrible history of, like, abuse.
Yeah.
So it just gets really concerning for Ruki here.
It is a little bit dark, yeah.
And alternatively, in English... For the rest of this episode, get ready for every woman that exists to hate each other.
Not just that, like, the women in these episodes are seen as objects rather than actually people.
I don't necessarily agree with that, because they're very heavily focused and you get to see inside their minds. They're all really vapid.
No, I'm talking about, like, by other characters. For example...
The way Renamon was treated last episode continues in this one.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll get to it more later in each part, because there are a few different instances when this happens. So anyway, Ruki's mum says that, like, she asks Ruki if she has any strange questions that she's going to ask, like about why models are always smiling even if they don't mean it, and about hating dresses.
Or, in the English, why models are so thin.
And she's like, geez. And also, besides that, like, oh, do you have any strange questions to ask? Which is fine, like, she's trying, right? In the original, in the dub, she's saying, well, she's the girl next door, even live next to a gas station.
That was so mean. You're talking about your own daughter, who you said would be good for this.
Also, in the dub, Rika is very sarcastic in what she's doing. Like, she's not sort of just doing it because, like in the original, she seems that she's doing it because she loves her mum and it'll make her mum happy, and she's coping. But, like, in the dub, she just is very rude about it.
To be fair, that's the reasonable response in the dub.
Yeah.
All the people seem evil.
Yeah, and her mum is just being not very nice. Like, at least in the original, her mum's saying, like, she's trying to be interested in, like, what she has to say.
You can't organize a modeling session for someone, bring them in and say, haha, look how ugly my daughter is.
Yeah.
Please take pictures of how ugly she is.
Yeah. Ruki says that she doesn't hate dresses in the original, and she just hates the ones that her mum forces her to wear.
They do seem pink and floral.
Yeah, and that's fair. Like, in a few episodes ago, when her mum was showing her dresses, one of them was just this ugly teddy bear one, and it was not a nice looking dress.
Yeah, it's just that her mum's taste is terrible.
Yeah. Instead of her hating the dresses that her mum forces on her and not hating all dresses, in the dub, Rika complains about this dress itching, and she says that she hates this and doesn't want to be a model, which is... In the original, she never says that she doesn't want to be a model, and she doesn't say that she hates this, but I still think she's still not happy with what she's doing with her mum at the moment, but I think she's just doing it because it makes her mum happy. But in the dub, she's just like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to be a model. It seems like she's being forced into it rather than she's just doing it, but begrudgingly, if that makes sense.
I never really got enthusiasm out of her either way.
No, she's not enthusiastic, but she's doing it because... Well, my interpretation is that she's doing it because her mum wants her to.
Yeah, but even then, I feel like when she's behind the camera and that she's just standing there motionless, it's not. I don't get the sense that she chose to be there in either situation. So, do you notice that in English, her photographer is Austin Powers?
Yes, it is. He uses the exact same
Baby,
language.
you're ravishing. Now you're a bunny. You love the camera. Fall in love. The camera's your boyfriend.
Oh yeah, that was
darling.
creepy. That was just really creepy.
My mojo's all over this camera, baby. Why don't you? Like...
Also, the mum's producer, is really creepy.
Oh, very.
The way she's saying, you look so... and he's talking to Ruki, the little girl, and she's saying, you look so good. Not many girls would look good like this. And then, Ruki puts on a hat, and she sort of looks almost kind of happy putting on the hat. It's like she's doing it because she loves her mum, and this is her responsibility or something. She's not... It doesn't feel she's as forced in the dub. The dub feels like she's being forced into doing this, and she doesn't want to do it.
So there's a lot of camera flashes, and they ask her to take the hat off.
Yeah.
And so she's very wooden, and all of a sudden, my interpretation of this moment is that, she's a bit overwhelmed in Japanese, but primarily her concern is she's thinking about Renamon. And because, Renamon left, and it's something that's on her mind.
Yeah.
And now that she's been in a stressful situation, she's
crumbling.
overwhelmed and runs.
Yeah.
In English...
Yeah, she freezes at being asked, you just want to be famous like your mum, don't you?
Yeah.
That's what the photographer says.
You're going to be just as famous as your mum.
You're going to be famous like your mum.
And the idea of being like her mom is repugnant to her.
Yeah.
So in one situation, she is an empathetic person who...
is breaking under pressure.
Yeah, who wants her friend to be okay.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, she's someone who hates her mom. Which, again, all women hate each other in English for some reason. So she just fully runs down the street.
We get a shot of Jan and Takado, and they're talking about where Renamon went.
Okay.
And Gilmon's sad, and I don't know why. I've written in my notes that Gilmon's sad, and I don't know why.
Because he would... am I wrong?
Yeah?
In the last episode, when Rapidmon does his triangle thing, the bull does appear to disintegrate,
Yes,
doesn't it?
which is a weird one. Pajiramon is the one that's not shown to disintegrate.
So why did it teleport?
I have no idea.
I just didn't follow that at all.
Me neither.
So we see...
Ruki stressing over not knowing where Renamon is.
we see that. And then we see... and they mentioned that they could probably find her with the Digivice. Oh no, we'd need Ruki's Digivice to do that.
Yeah.
But that's not true. Their Digivices detect Digimon, including the Devas, who they know is with her.
Yeah.
They could totally find it.
Oh, there was that before. Plot convenience, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we get a shot of Ruki's grandma talking to her mom.
Yeah, and Ruki's mum is upset that Ruki ran off, and she's saying, look, it was really hard for me to organise that shoot. And then Seiko says that you shouldn't worry because Ruki takes a lot of responsibility in what she does, and she'll be back soon.
Also, doesn't the grandma look like she's only 5 years older than the mom?
Yeah, well, it's because the mum is implied to be a very young mum.
But still, it's like the difference between a 30-year-old and a 35-year-old.
She's got wrinkles, so I think the grandma might be around 50.
That's possible. That would work out on the timing.
Yeah. No, I always got the impression that the mum was probably in her, 20s.
Yeah.
Maybe
that would be weird.
Yeah, I have a feeling
No, there's no way she'd be 20s, late 20s.
Yeah, I'd say maybe she could be 28 if she had Ruki
at 18.
When she was 18. Yeah,
That could be.
or even 17.
That'd be so weird.
She could be a very young mother.
Imagine in 6 years having a 10-year-old.
Yeah, I know. Well, some people do have.
I know, it's
young,
just
young
weird, though.
Kids when they're young.
We cut to, and I'm like, this person looks like a really aged up Rookie, actually. It's one of the Visor girls.
Yeah.
The one who sounds like Yoli.
Yeah, the Oli one.
And she's not wearing a thing. And for a second there, I realized she looks much more appropriate to be Rookie's mom.
Really?
Yeah, it's like she has
the
the hair
hair, yeah.
and she has like a face. And if you put them side by side, you're like, that's the mom. Much more. So she's going through the subway.
No.
Oh, she's swimming.
She's
She's swimming. Right. She's swimming and just like exercising. And then in English, everyone's talking about her.
Yeah, these girls are talking about how, like, she's so skinny and how she mustn't eat much. So there's all these references to not eating to be skinny, and that's just really...
It's really bad.
Yeah. To be beautiful, you mustn't eat much. And it's just like, okay, that's weird.
And, yeah, it follows her through the subway.
For starters, she gets a phone call, and it's Bolero. Her ringtone in the original.
I thought it sounded familiar.
But in the dub, it's just a generic phone.
Why would you change the music?
So the person on the other end, I thought it might be Yamaki or someone she works with, but in the dub, it's someone asking her for a date.
That makes no sense. Why would someone call you for a date unless you already gave them your number, in which case you would want it?
I don't know, but it's to make her seem like, you know, this episode is very much talking about how desired these women are.
Yeah. This one in particular is really weird, because in the original, it's not like this at all. It's just following her in a general sense.
No, but she's perved on by the guy at the pool, and then when she's at the station and going through the subway on the stairs, all these guys keep on turning around to check her out.
Yeah, but that's like...
But it's implied that she's being lusted after instead of explicitly said that all these guys want to have dates with her.
That's more like Japanese background radiation.
Yeah, but these guys are being quite creepy towards her. The way they're looking at her. Especially the one in the pool centre that just sort of walks up to her and looks at her and she covers herself up with a towel.
Is that better or worse than all women being awful?
I think it's just better as an element of the episode being that these are women and they're strong and men keep on, you know, trying to perv on them, but they're more than just beauty.
Yeah. I think, like, the key element here that's a big problem is that even if you were to change that discussion, if you were to change it from, men lusting over people to, like, insulting someone for, not eating or trying to be skinny or anything that stuff, the fact that it's only women, it changes entirely the negativity from all the men in the episode to women, primarily.
Yeah.
It's really bad. And that's, like, an awful stereotype as well. I'm not sure why it would do this, because the show's been generally really good about this sort of thing until right now, which the English has completely dropped. And, like, she's coming out of the subway, which... she's up the escalator, and I think in Japanese she's just silent, and she's just putting on these sunglasses, and it makes her look really cool.
Yeah.
However, in the English, she has her whole thought process, and it's like...
She doesn't shut up.
I don't think we can win. I don't know what we could possibly do. And she just sounds really anxious. Then she walks in the bakery. Ooh, sweet buns. I think I'll have some of those.
And then she says, "Ooh, better watch my waistline."
Yeah.
And again, it's this. This is the third reference to I have to be skinny, I can't eat. Like at the start of the episode where there's that line about Rika apparently asking about why models don't eat very much.
You know what's even worse about this, actually?
Yeah.
And I don't just realize it now. It would be one thing to be like, oh, women say, oh, she can't eat, but that's why she's so skinny. And then you get to the bakery, she's like, yes, I'm going to eat because I eat, and I'm still skinny because I work out.
But
no,
they
she
don't.
confirms it. She's like, I can't eat because I want to be skinny.
But that's just strange. It should show, she can eat whatever she likes because she's athletic. Like, she just came back from swimming.
Yeah.
She's probably starving. She probably needs to have something like that.
So I always got the sense in the Japanese that she knew where she was going and what she was doing. Like, she goes to this bakery, and she looks, and she sees him. Whereas in the English, she's like, huh, that kid's wearing goggles. That's weird.
Yeah, that's an interesting fashion choice. Yeah, it's very much like she's knowing in the original, but, like, it's not super explicitly said. And then, like, when she walks past Ruki, it's almost like she's aware of who Ruki is. But in the dub, she's just thinking about, like, could those kids really save us?
It's so weird. Like, I feel like if we wound this back, right? I'm trying to think of any situation you can make this weird, like, even weirder. Like, there's a moment where you'd have Ken, right, who's meant to have known everything when he's the Digimon Kaiser and sort of know who his enemies were. When he sees them at the soccer game, and instead of being like, oh, it's those kids from the digital world, he should have been like, oh, those things they're holding are really cute.
Yeah.
Like, just completely change the meaning of a situation. And also, one of the, I wouldn't call it the stranger things, in fact, one of the lower key changes, but still significant, is, did you notice that when Takato gets back to the shop, in the original it is, hey Takato, since you're free, can you help with the family business?
Yeah.
And he says, yes, absolutely. And in the English it's, hey Takato, I made you a snack.
Yeah, you've been such a good boy, have a treat. And it's removing this, like, it's fine to help out if your family owns a business. I'm not sure why they removed this. It's not like child labour or anything.
Child labour laws, yeah, that's it. That's the whole thing.
Because he's just helping. This is probably like what he does for his chores. And that's normal for kids to have chores. And they've removed this part and said, hey, here, open this box and have a snack, instead of, Takato, help me with this, with the family business.
The worst part is it's not even a box, it's a stack of trays.
Yeah. It's
really obvious.
Yeah, but they tried, okay. I think they might have tried to move in a bit more just so it looked more like a box.
I know,
It says look in the bread box.
They didn't just change the content. They had to, like, reinvent the idea of what those objects on screen were.
Yeah, they tried really hard.
Much
though.
in the same way as, like, poop became slime.
Yeah, Noom Sludge.
Noom Sludge, that was it. Oh my god.
Ruki comes back from her walk, and Ruki's mum is concerned and says, what type of primary school girl takes a walk this late? And Ruki points at herself and says, here. And I love this.
That's a great answer.
I love it, because it's just, this is her character. She's like, me? And it's not obnoxious when she says it.
Whereas, like, I believe in the English, it's like, why did you do this? She's like, I didn't like a photo shoot.
No, it's not like that. The mum says, I want to talk to you about what happened during the camera test. And Ruki points to herself and says, I don't.
That's alright.
Yeah, it's alright, but I liked the comedic timing of here, because it was just so subtle. I love it.
But also, like, that one is a positive answer to, like, what is this? Well, this is the answer. Rather than, I want to talk. No!
Yeah.
Those are very different. One is supplying information and one is denying it, which makes Ruki seem in the wrong. Which is weird.
We cut to Jen's place, and Terriermon is looking out the window and smells a Digimon, so he and Jen leave because he says, oh, it must be where Renamon is. Jen calls Ruki's house to let her know. In the dub, Terriermon is made of sass as usual.
No, this is the weirdest thing, actually.
Yeah?
Does Terriermon ever sass Jen?
Yeah, it
I don't feel like he ever does. I feel like he does it to everyone else around Jen, and to Jen, he's polite, and he's like, can I do this thing? And he's like, momentai, and he's usually mean to everyone else, and then Jen calls him out on it.
I feel like he sassed him before.
I don't know, it really stood out to me.
Like when Henry was trying to explain to him what sarcasm was, and Terriermon says, don't worry, I know what sarcasm is.
Yeah, no, but that's not him sassing him. That's him being like, he's like, yeah, I know. Yeah, that's not, you're stupid, I know this.
I feel like he has before.
Not like this. No, oh god, what did he say in this one specifically? Oh, I vaguely remember.
I don't remember, I just know that he sasses a bit.
It's something along the lines of like, what do you smell, Terriermon? I know, probably raspberry tarts. Of course it's a Digimon. Like,
yes, yeah, that's right, yeah.
He's really aggressive about it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, what do you smell? Like, I don't know. Of course it's a Digimon. Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, you're right.
I feel like he's never done that to Jen before.
Yeah, he's a little bit ruder. Yeah, but I guess it's because no one else is there for them to direct.
For him to be rude too.
We see the Hypnos girls talking, and Tally comments on Riley's makeup and asks if she has a date, and then Tally says that she wants a date, but then Riley says that that's because you always carry around a dead rabbit's foot, and this is just a random thing to add in the dub instead of just like, oh, here's a thing, there's a wild one nearby, and it's just like, it's strictly business. They're just, again, they've given characters to these people who don't really have that much of a character.
Yeah, and also
which is fine.
Blonde one, whose name I don't know.
It's
Yoli and the other one.
Yeah, it's Riley and Tally, and they're my OTP.
Those are terrible names.
It's Megumi and I forgot.
But she sounds like upset. Like, oh, you're just dating all the time.
Yeah.
Aren't you? You're just doing all the dates, right?
Because women hate each other.
And she's like, yeah, not this time. Not today. So she's not even defending herself, really. She's like, yeah, Didn't go on a date this time. Maybe later. You'll judge me more then, because I have no spine. Because women can't have those in this episode, apparently.
We finally see where Renamon and Vagiramon are at, and it's kind of like... This is like, presumably, a day or so after they walked off.
It's the next day.
It's taken them this long.
It's like a 12-hour conversation, in which can be summed up as, join the dark side. We have cookies.
Join the dark side? No. But you're beautiful? No.
Like, it's... Again, the statement was, this is a conversation that humans do not understand, that only Digimon can understand. And it is a conversation that humans have not only had for thousands of years, but we've all killed each other over. Which is, I have a religion, please join it.
Yeah, it is a bit culty.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I think it adds to the plot.
It really, but it shocks me that this is the conversation she went off to have, because it seems like you could have had this in 30 seconds. In fact, they did have this conversation during the fight. It's like Renamon didn't think that this is what was going to be asked, because they're there, and he's like, join us, and she's like, well, no. And he goes, well, humans are oppressing you, and she goes, well, no, of course not.
Yeah.
I'm confident I know what I'm doing, and he just doesn't put it together, and he just asks over and over again. That's the Japanese version.
Yeah.
The English version is more like, you're really hot, please come with us. No, you're being creepy. No, but you're really, really hot. Do you get how hot you are? Because you should totally come with us. And it's really strange that that's really what it boils down to. It wasn't that he's a religious fanatic and that he's trying to recruit her. It's just that looking at her arouses him, and that's enough for the story. It's really concerning.
Yeah, it is I feel like in the original they added the sort of, you're really beautiful thing a fine amount, but in the dub they just really force it down your throat that this is creepy. And again, like, it starts in the previous episode.
But no, I don't think they force it down your throat that it's creepy is the problem. I think they force it down your throat and that it is creepy, but I think it kind of portrays it as a reasonable standpoint for the bull to have. No one says it's creepy. Everyone just says no. Like, thank you for your proposition, but I will have to respectfully decline.
Yeah.
Rather than, go away, this is gross, please stop. Also, is this the first mention of the digital world? Like,
yes.
It's really weird. It took us a long time to get there, where they fully sort of mentioned we should go back to the digital world. I think the kids show up at exactly that moment, and I really feel like one of them should have been like, "Wait, digital world? What?" But
they also want to rule the real world as well.
They definitely want world domination in the English version.
Yeah,
they specifically state it. Because
in the original, when Renamon says, "Who's this god that's descended that we need to follow?" In the dub, she's responding to, "You're worthy to serve our master," and she asks, "How does your Digimon sovereign plan to rule the world?" And she's referring to the real world. Then Vagiramon in the original says that she's precious and says that she must clearly be worthy of a god. In the dub, he says by vanquishing humans, and he answers her questions in the dub.
Yeah.
In the original,
because of course he would.
In the original, he does not answer any of her questions.
You know what, like, really makes a religious, like, fanatic A, stand out, and B, seem dangerous? When no matter how tough the question is, he immediately has an answer for you. It might be crazy, but in his mind, he thinks he's right, because this is his worldview. And it's really easy to answer a question when you always think you're correct.
But it's so strange that, like, in the original, he does not give any information, really. In the dub, he's giving her all this information, and the point of the end of the episode is, wow, well done, Renamon, you got a lot of information. And it's not there in the original, because he did not answer any questions. He just kept on saying, you're so exquisite, you are worthy to follow our god.
That's why the conversation took 9 hours.
Yeah, he kept on hitting on her.
Also, then Kulamon shows up for no reason.
No, before that...
I see it in your notes right there.
Yeah, Renamon... Yeah, but that's a bit further down from where we are at the moment.
I know.
Renamon is in the dub saying things like, "Oh yeah, just keep on talking." She gets more information. In the original, she keeps on complaining that she's not getting any questions and like any answers to her questions, and she says, "Please answer my questions." Digimon then says that they were created by humans and now exist on their own, so they can serve their god and evolve, and humans abandon them. And that's about all the information that we get.
This universe is really weird, actually, because if you think about it, Digimon are 20 years old.
Yes.
They have developed a lot of stuff in 20 years. I mean, outside of just weaponry and stuff, there's huge problems of how did you develop a huge religion in a very short amount of time?
Well, they just feel abandoned, I guess. I don't know. Digimon showed up and said, we're the god, and they basically said, well, no complaints there, no arguing with that.
I'm wondering where that feeling of abandonment comes from. I feel like we'd need a history of the digital world sort of to happen. Because obviously, at one stage, there must have been human oversight. At a really early stage. But also, A, there are cards, and B, there's a video game that's really active, through which there are giant screens where you can see people. The fact that, of which you have to imagine there's like 100,000 at least. You'd think that the human presence in the digital world is actually significantly more than in the first 2 seasons of the show. I don't understand where their point is coming from, actually. Unless the game didn't take place in the digital world, which couldn't be the case, because it did.
Yeah.
Because that gorilla came back, and that gorilla was the same one that the Gen fought.
Harambe?
Oh, that meme wasn't around when we did that episode.
I know Harambe had happened.
It had happened, but we didn't.
Yeah,
but the meme hadn't gotten big.
I can't believe
No
the
one had
meme
taken their
started
dicks
2
out
months
yet.
after. You can't say that on a clean podcast,
You
James.
can. They're Richards, mate. They're Richards.
Then the Takato and Gen show up with Terriermon and Gilmon, and they evolve. And Gargamon always is having so much fun with his guns, and it's great. Renamon says that she's also a Digimon who evolves with her partner, and she evolves. In the dub, she says, well, your sovereign sounds dreamy, but I won't be signing up anytime soon, and then she evolves.
And he's like, oh, you're so beautiful.
Yeah, Digimon says, oh, you're even more beautiful when you evolve, you have to come with us. And then this sort of explains why, well, it doesn't explain in the plot, but it explains why the writers didn't make Renamon evolve, is because to make this moment better is like, oh, he's seen her evolve and he just thinks that she's lovely.
There's a point later in this when I'll just say it now actually. Renamon will evolve again soon because her name's in the title of the episode.
Spoilers.
When she evolves, she becomes humanoid. She has arms and legs.
Yeah.
And he immediately complains. He's like, "No, you look like a human. That's terrible."
Even though he's kind of a tiny bit humanoid himself in a way.
No, because like he's a bull mostly. Like he's got a human torso basically, and he's got arms, but whatever. Anyways, but like Talmon looks really human. Like they have like a fox mask and is otherwise human. What I realized is that he likes Cubimon more because Renamon's in a vaguely human shape.
Yeah.
And then becomes like a fox, like just full on fox. Like, oh yeah, animals, and then oh no, humans.
Yeah. Which is fine because I like that. It's like, why have you evolved in a human form?
He'd love like Graumon.
Vegeromon says that it is Cubimon's fate to fight with them and serve God. In the dub, she says, oh, you're so beautiful but so lost. Then we get some card slashes, but not all of them are animated. Gargamon says that he can't evolve to his perfect level because he's out of energy, and Graumon's also tired. Vegeromon then says that Cubimon can share her life with other Digimon. Then Ruki reaches out for a card, and she finds the blue card instead. Then Calamon's at her feet, and he's glowing, and it's adorable.
And he's like, whoa! He's like trying to... Looks like he's going to defend her.
Yeah,
almost.
it's really cute.
But wait, you said that they try to evolve Graumon or Gargamon?
Yeah.
Did they? Because I didn't feel that.
No, well...
They were using high-speed plugins and stuff.
Yeah, but then Jen says, Gargamon evolve, and Gargamon says, I can't. And then Takata says, what about you? And Graumon says, I can't.
Well, you don't have a blue card. Of course you can't evolve.
I think they can. I think the blue card thing's a one-off thing, and then they can just evolve when they want.
Kulamon seems busy.
Yeah, Kulamon still needs to be there, though. Also plot.
That was the thing. I'm like, it's really convenient that a blue card would show up for Ruki in this episode.
Yep.
And also that, like... I realized that they don't work together now. There's all three of them are there, but where they could work together to kill the big snake, they can't work together now.
Because it's not in the plot.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not in the script.
This is really annoying. This is all the problems I had with 02.
Yeah, this is a lot like these two episodes are extremely like we did it because it was convenient to the plot and it was in the script.
It really feels like we had no plans to evolve these two, but they need to.
Yeah.
So
let's force these.
Give
things
it to
happen.
the old writers. We're lazy.
Yeah, because Takato's like that evolution was good. Like it was dramatic. It showed up in his hand when he was screaming, and it was fine.
Yeah, it had a good situation to it.
So Cubimon evolves, and she doesn't get any CGI.
Didn't she?
No.
No, she didn't. She's fully animated.
Yeah, she's fully animated.
But it was a weird situation of like, Cubimon's there and kind of like twirls a little bit, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden Talmon's there, fully formed. In fact, there's less animation with this one.
She goes into the water, I think, or something.
Up against the moon.
Yeah.
Which looks cool.
It's
It does look
dramatic.
very
It looks cool.
And that's nice.
It ages better than the CGI.
Oh, it's true, it does.
Yeah.
It's still less weird than like 3D Gargamon disappearing off screen and then pieces of him
Jay.
building up from the bottom of the
Jay,
screen.
you know what Talmon's saying?
What?
I, the puppy, have evolved! Calamon then falls down because he's used up a lot of energy and he's sleepy.
I'm tired.
Vagiramon says, what's this? You've evolved the wrong way. In the dub, he says, my master would not like this human form. Or, my master would not like such a human form.
Also, did you notice that Talmon shows up as a direct silhouette on the Hypnos screen?
Really?
They cut to Hypnos and they're like, oh, something's
missed
happening.
that.
And there's Talmon silhouetted in white. Like, they've always had like big circles, like, oh, it's there.
Yeah.
Because it's like a radar tracker. But this one has a big outline.
Because script.
It makes no sense.
I know, a lot of bits don't make sense. It's because script. Talmon says that his god shouldn't decide what's wrong or what's right. In the dub, Talmon says, I don't care what your master thinks. Vagiramon then says that she shouldn't have evolved into a human shape, and Talmon thanks him for the information given.
Yeah, please don't evolve into the shape that you naturally evolve into. I've also never heard of Andromon or Angel Woman or Lady Devimon or Devimon or Edamon.
It's all like I'll get to a bit later on, but it's actually like implied that this is the shape because of Ruki.
Or
But
Puppetmon
I'll
or
get to it in a
Piedmon.
second. Vagiramon then says that denying their god is unforgivable, and then Talmon has a big paintbrush, and for some reason I forgot what she does, and I was kind of like, is she going to hit him with the paintbrush?
Or Wargreymon, or Black Wargreymon, or what's it called? Peldramon Paladin mode.
So then she destroys the bull, and Calamon's happy.
What's with this attack with the paintbrush? Because this must be some kind of Japanese cultural thing that I don't understand.
It's
it's
Taoism.
This is exactly the same attack as Okami has from the game
Yeah.
or the game Okami, where you paint stuff with a big paintbrush
Yeah.
and the symbol that creates magic. I don't know what's up with that.
It's Taoism, I think, or something. It's a reference that we don't get because
But
culture.
it's also a fox. It's also
Yeah.
a cube. It's weird. That's a thing. I don't know. But they can't hold paintbrushes. They're foxes.
We're then cut to
They also can't say moshi moshi.
We're then cut to Yamaki, and he says that they must be the only one who can fight the wild ones.
You must feel so bad wasting the government's budget on this.
Yeah, totally.
Also, are they part of the government?
I don't know. I can't
Or are
remember.
they a private institution? It's hard to tell.
After the fight, Ruki and Renamon are talking, and Ruki asks if the way a partner and their Digimon fight influences a way a Digimon evolves, and then says that Renamon has become really strong, but has also become truly beautiful under the moonlight.
If that was the case, why does Graumon get all this metal strapped and attached to him?
Because Takato drew it.
Because he
Yes.
didn't. He didn't.
I know,
He didn't
but
scan it.
Maybe he did. I
And
don't
when
know.
he draws Mega, like the next evolution in this episode, it doesn't look like that.
Yeah, but maybe that's what he wanted it to look like.
Oh, it's so weird.
He didn't want all this metal. He didn't want Megalogrammon.
So the way they fight together is, in fact, even in her case, the way they fight together first of all makes her an animal fox, then makes her a painter.
I don't know. I think it's because the way that they've fought together has changed throughout the time. Anyway, so there's this nice moment when Ruki cycles off, and it's after she says that Renamon's beautiful, and it's such a different way to where Vagiramon kept on saying she's beautiful, and Renamon just says, just shut up. Renamon's just silent after this and is just looking at her as she cycles away. And it's this beautiful moment of these two characters who aren't very good at expressing their emotions. And Ruki was just honest to Renamon, and Renamon's not really sure how to handle it. And it's really sweet. Then the dub, Rika says that she's pleased with how Renamon's new evolution looks, and Renamon says how it must be the key to defeating the Devas. Rika then says she hopes that she's correct, and then she said, you did well getting all this information. But what I've noticed more is how heroic you look in the moonlight.
Heroic's an interesting word there. I actually prefer that.
Really heroic. I liked beautiful because it was, Renamon keeps on being called beautiful and she just shrugs it off, but this is the only time it affects her, and that's why I prefer it in the original.
I can see that, but I think that since beautiful was used as a tool of objectification
Yeah.
earlier, that its return sort of... I don't think it fully undermines it necessarily, but heroic says a lot more about her as a character and what she hopes to be.
Yeah.
And I think that more readily identifies the things that Renamon cares about.
Oh, no, that's fair. And then Renamon smiles and says goodnight. And then Davis says, wow, did Rika just say something nice? I'm just like, Davis, go away.
Oh my god, it's so weird. Like, they're having this really sweet moment. Then you just have Davis's voice. Oh man, Rika's usually so awful. I definitely didn't just watch 6 episodes of them getting nice to each other. There was no energy drink ever.
Why is Davis still here?
I want him to die.
Davis?
I hope he did die and try. That'd be nice.
What do you think of this episode as someone who is new to Digimon?
So, the Japanese one of this is just whatever. It's fine. Oh, I forgot. There's one thing I forgot about the fight. Is it the bull Digimon, whose name I'm choosing not to remember? Yeah. In the original, he keeps saying, I'm not gonna fight you because I want you to join us. And I'm not gonna fight you because I think you're going to join us by your own free will because that would make the most sense because that's your destiny. And that's replaced in the other one with, you're very beautiful, you're very beautiful. And then he's still fighting anyway, and he never sounds like he's not going to. And it takes a long time for him to break and be like, okay, screw it, I'm going to fight now.
Yeah.
And I think that was an interesting dynamic for that fight, where he's trying not to, and then they just didn't care and threw it away.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's what I thought of this episode. The Japanese was fine. There was stuff to it. I thought it would have a lot more to do with this photo shoot, and it didn't. So, I guess we got to see the Yoli girl with the visor outside, and that was stuff that wasn't really followed up on, but sure, it was there. Hypnos continues to be the most useless organization of all time. In fact, they've been not useless. They've been completely negative to the whole situation. If they weren't around, I feel like the kids would be in a better position, because the share guy would never have happened. Probably. And yeah, I don't know, the bull died in the last episode, it's back. They had a 9-hour conversation which was, join us, no, join us, no, join us, no.
But you're beautiful, though.
And just, this episode was not very good. Like, that's fine. So this gets a different rating though, right? So this episode's what?
No, I'll ask you the question first.
Oh no, I'm not finished talking about that.
Right.
So that's the Japanese. The English, however, is not only the worst episode of Tamers, by a long way. It's garbage. It's really bad. If given the choice, if I was watching this in English or whatever, I would happily skip this episode and then just not know how Talmon happened. That would be fine.
And have her just show up and say, oh, by the way, I can evolve.
All you need to do is cut out the scene where the bull Digimon comes back in whatever river thing it appears in, and then that would be fine, because that was a loose end that wasn't loose until they made it loose again.
Right.
So, yeah, this Japanese is really awful. It's just disgusting in the way it treats everyone.
How would you rate this episode?
The Japanese gets a 5 because it's functional and its bads equal the amount of goods, I guess. And the Japanese gets, I want to give it a 1.
Really?
Nothing it does is funny. Nothing it does is interesting. It actively ruins a lot of the stuff in the Japanese. I cannot stand it. It is, I think, one of the best examples of how to completely ruin the original content of something. This is the first time. There have been so many episodes of Tamers where you go, well, this is pretty much 1-to-1. There's really, really small changes and not very much. This, you can't miss it. The whole episode changes. And it's all to the negative.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's my perspective to say, but I assume that you would agree with me when I say this is really distinctly offensive in a lot of ways.
Yeah, the way that all the females are treated mainly as objects to the men. In both versions, they're just, all the women, the mum is there as a model, and she's being creeped on by this old man. Ruki is being creeped on by this old man, and the photographer's creepy. And then we have, the Hypnos girl. I think this is Megumi, and she's also being creeped on by the guy at the pool. And in the English version, she's being spoken about behind her back by these women who are just standing there. And then we have Renamon, who's being perved on by Vagiramon. And the only thing that's missing is Vagiramon not saying, well, at least Rika's good looking. Honestly, I'm surprised that they didn't pull that out.
I'm going to use your tamer as a human shield, or otherwise, just take her back to the digital world, because that's what I do, apparently.
And make her my queen.
My Digimon queen. Good foreshadowing, honestly.
What do you think of this episode compared to what you thought in Obnoxious Synopsis?
So, I thought... Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong one. So, I mean, obviously, I guess that Renmon would evolve. That was correct.
Well, duh.
But the focus on beauty, I thought it would have to do more with the mum's modeling. And really, that was pointless. The entirety of the beginning, where they're at the modeling studio, that was completely meaningless. Nothing was accomplished. She already didn't get along with her mom, so that didn't change anything. And she was never there for a particularly long period of time, because she would have stressed out about Renmon anyway. All it did was show us she didn't want to be a model. And guess what? We could have told you that by looking at her. Like, all of her character tells you, this is not what I want to be. I want to be action-oriented. I want to do stuff. I want to be good at things.
Also, she's young. She just wants to play her card game.
I want to play my card game. I understand that really well. I did not think it'd be a good episode, but I thought it'd be a 6, not a 1. Okay, is 1 fair? Somewhere between a 1 and a 2. This is the worst episode of Tamers, and I'm not sure anything could possibly beat this without being intentionally bad. I'm trying to think the product of the times this came out in. What kind of writer do you need to be to sit down, look at the content that is there, and say, you know what we need to do? Make every woman hate each other.
Yeah.
We don't just need... Because you could one-to-one this, and you could just write down all the stuff that was already there, and it would be totally fine.
Yeah.
There's no cultural things that needed changing. So you had to sit down and say, this script is boring. What this needs is catfights. It's mind-blowing. I can't... You know when you look at someone's mistake, right? And you kind of try to trace it back and to all the ways... You look at, say, I'm trying to think of a good example, like a pie, right?
Yeah.
And the pie has 3 giant rocks in it. And you have to think to yourself, how did rocks get in this pie? Not only did they have to, like, get into the kitchen in the first place, then they had to get into the pie, then the person had to not notice it, right?
Yeah. And
there's all these... It had to fall in a certain way that the top layer didn't show the lump, so the chef didn't notice. And all at the end, and you're like, okay, well, we end up with rocks in this pie. In this situation, the rocks are just, like, disgusting hatred of women, and the chef is the writers.
Yep.
And the pie is this garbage show.
So it's really solid, your opinion on Tamers that much?
No, honestly, I can't look at this episode and feel like it's the same writers. I feel like these are different people. If you told me that the head writer of this episode was the same as, I guess any other episode, but I guess... What was the one I really liked a lot?
In which...
This one, like this series, like of Tamers, which was the one I've liked the most here?
I can't remember.
Screw it, let's just say the camp episode, because the camp episode had some clever stuff in it, and it was fun. It wasn't the best episode, but it had some good stuff. If you told me the head writer of this episode was the same as that one, I think I would begin to sour on this. Because it tells me... But on the English side. And I think that's the one saving grace of this, is that I can't look at Tamers and be like, well, this is disgusting now, because I know all these undertones are in there.
Yeah. Because
they put a lot of them in.
What was the major difference that you noticed?
I think we've just talked about that for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be going over again.
Oh, that's fair.
The only thing I will say is it's weird... And this has nothing to do with how disgusting women are treated, because we've really been over that a lot. It's really weird that we've had back-to-back episodes with blue cards in them appearing, and one of them, the first one, has the convoluted way of getting it to the kid. And then just this episode, immediately back to them just appearing out of nowhere for no reason.
Yeah, why not?
It's why?
Because plot?
Oh, God, I hate that. I thought we were over that.
So we have all of our perfects now, and we saw 3 different ways of getting a blue card. Having it appear randomly in a hand during a dramatic speech, randomly stumbling upon it, or reaching into your card collection and pulling it out. What do you think was the best way?
Wait a minute. No, they were both random. She didn't just own one.
Oh no, but she pulled it out of her card collection.
Yeah, but it was random.
It just it did appear though. She just pulled it out.
I'm almost certain it was, I'm looking for a card that will help in this situation. Oh my god, this one's blue.
Yeah, yes, that's basically.
It's the same thing as Tocato's. It's literally the same.
No, but his appeared dramatically. The way he was, saying, and we can do it, and I can stand up, and then the blue card was there. I think that's for starters. I found that
obviously the best.
Yeah,
because his has significance.
I find that Jen's was the worst.
Easily.
Because it just sort of like he stumbled upon it and then didn't use it for the episode. Like I would have used it.
I think it's weird that your issue is primarily he's holding it in his hand. Why isn't he using it?
Yep.
I don't understand why he's not using this card. To me, it's how is it possible that they knew that Jeremy who was not Jeremy, he's a random child they've never met before.
Yeah.
How could they possibly know that he would get the card to Jen?
Because it was in the script.
It's insane. It's completely
and
insane.
that's the first time I've had to really say that in Tamers.
Yeah. I think it'd be really interesting if there was, like, a flashback the moment she pulled out the blue card in this episode, where, like, it covers, like, there's a blue card on the ground, and a cat goes and grabs it and runs along, then a bird grabs it, like Kari's Digivice. Yeah. And then it flies through the air and gets hit by a plane, and the car sort of spirals down, hits the chimney in her house, and bounces around, and, like, flicks through.
And magically slides into her card box.
Exactly. Like, you just have something completely off the wall.
What do you think about the quality of episodes? Are they still better than 02? I know you didn't like these sets of episodes, but is it that so bad that it's almost as bad as 02, or is it still better? And are you...
This last episode,
yep,
the Japanese was probably on par with the 02 episode because...
Well, wait. I thought you said the Japanese one was a 1.
No, Japanese is the good one.
No, you said Japanese
English
was
is the 1.
Oh, okay. I got confused because you said that Japanese was the 1, and I was.
I feel like you would have told me if you actually thought that when I said it.
Oh no, I just thought you had a weird opinion. Okay, so you prefer the Japanese one?
Of course I do.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I'm not stupid.
Okay. Yep.
No, the Japanese is probably on par with 02 in that it's weird, stuff happens because of plot.
Yeah.
People act kind of irrationally, and it focuses on fighting, and no one's any good until evolutions happen. And also the cards are totally useless, so there's no point of even having that mechanic anymore.
Yep.
And also we're crapping out evolutions really quickly because we need to, which is really, really similar. And then the English version is down there with some of the worst of 02.
Right. And are you enjoying the series so far on the whole?
Oh, it's really stalling. It's stalling really hard. Like, these last 2 episodes are really, really bad, but the episodes before this weren't super special, I don't think.
Do you care about the characters? Because I know in 02 you did not care about the characters, and I think that was the problem of why you didn't like 02. You just did not care about the characters. In Adventure, you at least cared.
Yeah, and I do. I care about Tokado and Gilmon as a unit. I care about Ruki, and I care about Renamon as separate.
Yeah.
And I care about Terriermon.
Yeah. What about Kellermon?
I don't know. The problem with Kellermon is that he's positioned like this weird manic sprite where I don't believe he would ever actually be in any sort of danger. So why would you care? He's basically a battery. He's basically a crest of everything that sometimes people pick up and their Digimon evolves.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel. It's cute, but that's my feeling on it. Like a dog. Oh no, dogs I've never met I still care about.
I care about dogs that I just think about. Like,
No.
what if there's a dog? That dog is the best dog.
Like a particularly cute cat, right? I don't generally like cats, i.e. Digimon, but a really cute one, I'll look at it and be like, that's a cute cat. But then I'll leave and I'll be like, I can just not think about it.
Yeah.
If I see a cute dog, I'm thinking about that dog. I want that dog. It's really stalling out, though. I think the problem is that I don't care about this story. I care about these characters. I don't care about this story, though. There's nothing interesting happening. And if they've gotten past their area, all the discovery.
Yeah.
They've gotten... They all know about Digimon. They all know about evolution. That's fine. We've discovered that evolution's not a problem, so that subplot's gone. We've discovered the scary government organization, and then they've been completely declawed because they can't do anything, and they've only made things worse.
Yep.
I don't even know why they're still running at the moment, but whatever. Zippo Man has infinite money, I guess. And the Digimon they're fighting are boring, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that's going well in this series is that the kids are interesting. Whereas in 02, I think that, like, the Digimon Emperor was interesting as a plot, and that drove the first season. And honestly, I can't remember what happened in the rest of it. Who did they find the rest of? Oh, they're Spider Lady and stuff.
Spider Lady.
And they were annoying enough heels.
And they're
that
Blackwell Greymon.
I was happy for them to die, and then Blackwell Greymon happened, and I wanted to die.
Screenshot of the week. Jay stolen mine because he didn't get one.
Yes, I did.
So mine is when Jen scans the unknown card before it becomes a blue card, and maybe it's an animation error, but like his eyes sort of like dart across, like a bit uneven, and I found it funny, and yours is mine.
Yes, it is.
So do you want to say it?
I was laughing at the image of
Yeah, I know.
Jen with his weird eyes.
It's on the icon this week. It's just him going. Yeah. It looks like this is a card.
It's what's it called?
Hammerbun.
Terriermon with
Thor's hammer.
No, it's not Thor's hammer. That's how it's listed. But what's his name? Vikemon? No, not Vikemon. The one.
Zudamon.
Zudamon's hammer. I love that they're bringing the weapons of the old guys, and you got like Wargreymmon's back shield and Zudamon's hammer, and there was another one. What was the other weapon that they've used?
They've used attacks.
Yeah, and they've used some attacks of different things. I'm sure they gave Terriermon another weapon, but I don't really remember. Either way, I love that. I think it's great, and I love that he can wield this stupid big hammer. Although in this situation, unlike a shield, which is perfectly effective, it wasn't particularly effective, which is very sad.
It looked cute though, and it was a very funny moment.
I'm really sad to see that the card slashes are beginning to be useless very quickly.
That's because they'd be too OP'd.
Well, they would be, but just it's really strange that you introduced the system, and I honestly think it barely got used. It got used enough times for me to go, yeah, this could work, and then I think they're going to forget about it, which is sad.
The Digimon introduced in the episode, what did you think about them? So we have Pajiramon, the Shorp.
It's fine, I guess. It's a fat sheep. You don't really see many sheep tours.
I like the design. What about Vajiramon?
It's a really, really basic, like, centaur minotaur. Yeah, I think that's why it's not human. It's got the horse of a centaur, it's got the bull of a minotaur, and you're like, well, what's left?
What about Rapidmon?
I think Rapidmon's great.
We've kind of seen Rapidmon before, though.
But it was gold.
Yeah.
I think Rapidmon's great.
And also, it's not armor level, it's now perfect level.
Thank God. Yeah, it's a fine design, like it's a robot. I'm not really sure it should have come off Gargomon, because that's a really weird jump. Even as far as like Digimon's standards for just sticking armor on things goes, this makes no sense. It made so little sense the animators couldn't figure out how to turn one into the other.
He just became metal.
Yeah. However, I like the way it attacks, I like the way it looks. It doesn't necessarily look like it fits in Digimon because it's straight up a mecha suit, but whatever. It's not just a mecha suit. It's like a modern mecha suit. It's not like an Andromon or a
It's Bubblegum Crisis.
Mechanorimon.
It's Bubblegum Crisis 2040.
Yeah. But what I really like about it, and it's not about this design, is that Terriermon's still an asshole.
Yeah, I love him.
I love that. He shoots! He scores!
What about Talmon?
Talmon's interesting, right? I don't actually think the design is that great, because, and this might be my cultural background, but it's obviously really, really, really heavily reliant on the Japanese cultural influence.
Yeah. Which
I don't get. It's just not my thing, right? So I look at it and I go, well, that sure is Renamon in, traditional outfit with a big paintbrush. Maybe a mask, or just maybe their face is real weird.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure. I like the spinning, though. That was more dynamic movement that I really liked. We're on to Postmon Pat. Okay, we got a Gmail from Chuckmon. They say that they're enjoying the overall pace of Tamers. It's not super fast, but it's not slow. 16 episodes of real-world adventures, and the Devas wanted to rule the Earth. Brings up questions about what's wrong with the digital world. I'm actually really interested to see what's going on there. Because if the bull monster is saying, come back to the digital world, it can't be so screwed up like in Try. Spoilers. Oops. Either way,
we still don't know what's going on in the digital world.
It's all red and weird. They go on to say that they like Tokaido being excited and wanting to patrol. Their team flag, Impmon wanting to join, Rika throwing Henry the phone so he can call Gogglehead, and Ruki giving Renamon the drink, and Kenta singing. But they're sick of peanut butter jokes in the dub. I don't know, peanut butter is something that has longevity as a humorous device. Just look at Overwatch. And Winston, he loves peanut butter. And they're enjoying the geographical accuracy, and they want to go on a Digimon tour of Tokyo, which is something I'm pretty sure May wants to do as well.
Yeah, we're doing it.
And I desperately don't want to do that. Because what? You go to a place where Digimon fought once.
That's cool.
They say that Sinduramon is better than Sandiramon. God, they have the same names.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't talk and is creepier. They're guessing that Cho-sensei is Jen's martial arts instructor, since Terriermon was doing martial arts on the train. Which is interesting, because who would have taught Terriermon? That implies that Jen has been teaching Terriermon martial arts, which seems like a terrible idea. They suggest that maybe we move the DigiNews segment.
Which
and
we did. Thank you for the suggestion.
And they're enjoying my Patreon fanfiction, which I should still need to write chapter 4 for, because I've been really lazy / doing assignments. We have from DJenalep. Is that how that? Or is it DJ Enalep? Or DJ Enel Lep?
Whatever. They all sound good.
They say, anyway, they wanted to wait until after we had gotten to the next evolutions before writing in, but they always believed that people thought Jen was a rival or second in command to Takado because they both have the terrible CGI transformation, whereas Ruki doesn't. Well, that's oddly specific.
I can actually see that because
I can't.
well, Garurumon to Were Garurumon was CGI, and Greymon to Metal Greymon was CGI, but no one else was,
I guess.
if I recall correctly.
Wait, to War Greymon and Metal Garurumon?
No, to their perfect levels.
Right.
Everyone else got animated, evolutions to perfect, and then the two main, the rivals, got CGI.
They say that personally they preferred they were just signaling who the strongest Digimon was supposed to be. Ty's and Matt's had the CGI animation, and so did Davis and Ken's, and they have the strongest one. So,
Yeah.
also their brother was listening with them when I asked why does no one make fun of Juri. His response was they thought it was because her dad was in the Yakuza. They don't remember that. So they're wondering if I remember the show better. Oh no, he being the brother remembers the show better than him, or he's crazy and this is his headcanon. They don't know. May, is Juri's dad in the Yakuza?
That actually sounds really familiar, so I think he actually might be hinted to be part of the Yakuza.
We're gonna see him. He's gonna be covered in tattoos. We're like, oh.
I think maybe, but that's like a good theory of why no one's picking on the little girl with the dog puppet, because no one wants to get killed.
And we got one from Ashley from Prodigious, who says, A, the owl is the best character, and they seem very excited about the Devas.
The Devas!
Right, that's it. Not a personal excitement, just an excitement for that particular line.
The Devas!
I understand how to write things. Write things, read things. God, it's late. And they say that my observation about the rooster/owl Deva not caring about the kids is interesting, but they don't know if that it's enough to actually redeem the episode in any way. They agree with May that if you ask them to watch it twice, they'd probably be like, dear God, please no. Though, being on episode 46 of Tamers now for Prodigious, they do have to say that a silly rooster episode is one of the episodes they do remember most vividly from the first half of the series. That is, I think that's a really good way of phrasing it. I mean, from my perspective, looking optimistically forward, because that implies the first half is the worst half, which would be really nice.
I would say that. I was worried about you not liking Tamers because the first half is pretty slow.
Oh, that makes me feel good. Mostly because Owl is the best. The Digimon being adorable and Immon becoming a part of the group for a bit, even if that doesn't make total sense. So they guess we win. No, aren't we? You win. Oh, it's hard to pass these contexts. So they guess you win episode 16, you win. And they give up. They guess that speaks to the overall goodness of Tamers, which it kind of does for an episode that, I don't know, if you think about it, doesn't make a lot of sense. It's still good though. Like, what is the chicken powering up for? It doesn't seem to care about the kids, even though its religion should say kill the kids. Also, I've been recommended to read Fruits Basket.
You should read Fruits Basket. I'm surprised you haven't. I have some of the manga. I have the first 12.
Well, that seems like enough for me to start.
I think there's 20.
Okay.
I stopped buying them because they're like $20 each.
It's annoying. I bought number 4 of One Punch Man the other day.
Yeah.
Just because I will eventually get them all, because I love that series so much.
Yeah.
But manga is way more expensive than it should be.
Yeah.
Hey, look, regular comic books are more expensive than they should be. But A, they're printed in color, and B, they're larger.
Yeah, I want to get the Pokemon Adventures manga, but
Also,
there's so
less
many of them.
pages in them. Pokemon Adventures manga, like the original one?
Yeah, but but by original, it's ongoing. It's still going.
What?
They started
How many books has it got?
a lot. They have seasons. It's in each season is 40 volumes.
Oh, Jesus.
But it's very
Season
long.
20 coming soon.
No, it's an ongoing thing, and they go through all the regions with the main characters, and sometimes Red still shows up.
Oh, Red's so cool.
Onto Facebook, we have a message from Elijah, who says that they believe the reasons that the Tamers didn't use the Digivolution cards at first is because the Tamers needed to satisfy certain requirements before being able to Digivolve.
If only we knew what those were.
Plot!
Oh, God, it's just the script. It's the script coming back.
On Reddit, Dak...
What's that over there?
It's
Is it the script?
Onto Reddit, Dak and Jackster says, Vegeramon and Renamon took so long to start talking. Did they get lost? I'm like, yes, probably.
No, they just had the same conversation for 9 hours. And Digimon have different cultural backgrounds than humans do. So when you ask the same question and get the same answer over and over again, because they're digital, they're just going to ask it over and over again.
I think he kept on calling her attractive and she kept on running off.
Just check. But no, but she went with him willingly. She would have just gone back to Rookie.
Then Dak and Jackster asks us when we'll be watching and covering the Battle Adventures movie.
It's like 3 weeks from now.
And I thought I'd answered this before on the show, but maybe I hadn't. So I have a little schedule and timeline that I've written up here. And so what we have is for episode 67, so that's in 2 episodes, we're going to be covering episode 21, 22, and 23. And this will be released on the 27th of August. The following episode, which is episode 68, will be Battle of Adventures, and we'll be releasing that a bit earlier than usual, because we're going to Japan the next week. And that'll be released on the 1st of September. So then we go to Japan from the 2nd of September to 17th of September. And then episode 69 comes out when we're back, and will be released on the 24th of September. And then hopefully we're covering Try Chapter 3. So yeah, we're covering Battle Adventures in a few weeks after we finish episode 23. And the reason that I've separated like this is because of how it goes in the plot, and I thought that this would be the best place to put that movie.
Oh, the plot's getting me again. It's making me watch another episode.
But it's also no one's sure if it's canon.
The movie?
Yep.
I guess I'll make a judgment, and that will be canon.
Yeah, if it's good, it's canon.
Not necessarily, just if it makes sense.
Just a bit of a warning, I super cried when I first watched the Battle of Adventures movie.
What?
I cried like a baby.
What?
Absolutely could not stop crying.
How many people die?
No people die.
Oh.
It's really sad.
No people?
If you don't like feel like crying a little bit after watching this, you probably don't have a heart.
Oh, I didn't cry at all
it's sadder
during
than
Clan
Clan.
Ad.
It's sadder than Clan.
Everyone said it's the most heartbreaking thing in the world, and I watched it, and I got to the end, and I said, when?
No, it's sad. So I hope that answers your question. So soon we'll be covering in a few weeks, and hopefully Jay cries, because then he can have a heart. It is heartbreaking, and it hurts a lot.
Is it Wizardmon? Because everyone cared about Wizardmon.
Wizardmon's not in... I don't think he's in it.
Everyone cared about Wizardmon, and then I got there, and I said, why?
There's a dog in it.
Dogs. Yes. I love dogs. If the dog dies, I'm going to be upset at you. Alright guys, join us for the next episode of Spider Manga. Impmon's Last Stand.
Or, we would like to become strong. Rise, Impmon!
What? Random.
That's what it says.
Okay. And Out of the Blue.
Or, this is the trump card. Blue card of friendship.
There's another... Oh my god, there's a blue card for Impmon. What? They just swipe it in his buns.
No. For Weekly Wonders this week, I'm going to say 2 things because I invent the rules. And
sure,
this is my podcast, and I'll cry if I want to.
Right.
So I want to recommend, first of all, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. But it's enjoyable, but I feel like a lot of things happen purely because the plot says they happen.
Yep.
And that we just had a discussion on why that's bad. But I still felt like it was enjoyable. I feel like I grew up at the best time for Harry Potter.
When there had been 4 books out, and you could catch up on them, and then there would be more books coming later.
No, I'm just saying, when the first books came out, I was still at the age where my parents were reading to me in bed.
Okay, I was a bit later than that.
Yeah, so it was like in the 90s when they started reading, like, because I was still a little kid. And then as I grew up, I started reading them on my own. Like, my parents would start reading to me in bed, and then I'd finish the book, like, that chapter off by myself. And then as I got older, it was just me. You can read all by your own self. Yeah. So it was it's something that sort of like grew up with me. Like the last book came out when I had just started high school. I believe I was 14? Something like that. And the first book came out when I was a little kid. So I grew up with it into a teenager through this book series. And the fact that there's another one coming out and a movie, that's great. And I really enjoyed it. I wasn't even going to buy it, and I was just kind of like, may as well. And I super want to see the play. Also, I'm saying No Man's Sky, because that just came out, and it's basically the Destiny that everybody wanted. What about you? I played a lot of Rainbow Six Siege, because I've been really enjoying just defending a room against, just dudes with explosives and stuff trying to get you, or alternatively, kicking through windows and trying to get people that way. It's a lot of fun. And not having a blood nose. No, shut up, I was trying to hide it.
I'm bleeding everywhere is the problem, and I'm trying to act professional, and it's not working. There is just something really fun about your opponents have put up a giant steel plate on one side of a wall so that you can't blow through it, and then you play the guy who has the thermite and just blow through it anyway and just laugh at them. It's a good time. And also, it just feels good to shoot dudes. I don't know, it's good. I wish it had a story mode because I really enjoyed Rainbow Six Vegas and Rainbow Six Vegas 2. I liked them more, especially because they were third person, which was something that I really loved about those. But this one's really good. I wish I had a group of 4 other players that I could speak to, because I feel like if you could coordinate assaults in that game, it would be disgustingly fun.
Yeah. So the link dumped will be linked in the description, as always. And you can contact us and stay updated. You can email us at LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com, or you can comment on this episode or message us on SoundCloud. You can follow us at TranslationMon on Twitter and on Vine, and you can find us on Lost in TranslationMon on Tumblr, Facebook, and YouTube. We have a discussion thread on With the Will and a Reddit thread on the Digimon subreddit, and we'd really appreciate it if you were to review us on iTunes and or Stitcher.
We want to thank our Patreon supporters very much, in fact. We got Stevie, who hosts a podcast with another supporter, Sam Krieger, called the Moncast, which talks about Pokemon and Digimon together. Wu Qinglong, who you can find at twitch.tv/Wu Qinglong. Metal Mamemon, Joe, Penguin Mage, Anime Guy, who you can find at Anime Guy Kurosaki and the number 1 on YouTube. Chuckmon, Ishpal Bamba, Hiro Olato, who you can find at Hiro Olato on Twitter. Jason Morosky, Frostmeragic, you can find it at Frostmeragic on Twitter. Stephen Reeves, who is at WildWing64 on Twitter. Kaidawashi, Mac, Noam, and Aiden. We're almost at our next Patreon milestone, where we upload podcast episodes to YouTube. When we meet the milestone, we will also play the Adventure 02 board game, which I really don't want to do, but I will. And we'll do a dramatic reading of young May's bad self-insert fanfiction, which is only like half a step down from the one I'm writing.
Wow, you think that highly of me. Or maybe you just don't think highly of yourself.
That was what I was going for.
You can also make a one-off donation on PayPal, which can be found linked in the description. Make sure to let us know it's for the podcast. I believe when you give money through PayPal, there's like a description thing, so just write in, this is for Lost in TranslationMon, or podcast, or Digimon podcast, or something, just so we know where it's from.
Or we're going to Japan soon, so you can write for ramen if you really want.
Yes, buy us ramen, please. Anyway, so we'll see you guys next week, and maybe Jay won't have a blood nose at the end.
It's going everywhere.
It was polite to wait until the outro, though, at least, so you got to give it that.